here we go. Welcome in to another edition of Bucky and BK. Today is Friday, August 7th, 2026. And the Buck and I are with y'all for the next 2 hours. On today's show, more observations and takeaways from the first few days of Texas football fall camp. Hopefully some sound from some of the Longhorn players who met with the press after practice yesterday. The NFL is back, and what a game. Hope you watched. We'll give a few thoughts on the Hall of Fame game. We've got a couple of great guests joining us. North Carolina football continues to be a disaster. Some big news from the NFL, and of course the BBK news and why today's not so bad. We are locked, we are loaded, and we are ready to roll. It's a jam-packed Friday program. Happy Friday to each and every one of you out there. We appreciate y'all spending some of your Fridays with us. How are you today, my man?
I'm doing fantastic. It's another beautiful day in the neighborhood. Lots of sun. If you like sun and you like fun and you like heat, it is here. It's here for the taking, BK, right now. I just talked to my daughter this morning. She's on her way back from Breckenridge, Colorado, where she said, Dad, it is absolutely gorgeous. You're going to have to do this Colorado thing sometime. I've never done that. I know a lot of people that take off and get the hell out of here, whether it's New Mexico or Colorado, just give their bodies a break for a week. I'm like, they're soft. That's why they run away. You're soft. Why are you running away from this? Enjoy this. Enjoy. This is a big piece of heaven right here.
My
This is the one.
condolences. My condolences to your daughter for having to leave paradise to come back to this.
My goodness. And they make the drive. They do the drive with the three kids and they go up there for 2 weeks. And she said it's just amazing up in that part of the country when you've been around this place all summer and then you take off the last 2 weeks before they go to school on Monday.
Oh, already?
Yeah, yeah. Their kids go, I think, to some little private school. So
Hey, I don't blame parents for moving the start of the school year up every single year. Like, I feel like if I'm ever a parent, that's what I'm going to want. Like, hey, kids, back to school. I'm done with you. Please go back. Just go somewhere else. You don't have to go home, but you can't stay here.
pay the
Uh,
teachers a little extra to come in a week earlier.
yeah, sorry to the teachers out there. I feel like they get screwed by this deal, but there's more parents than teachers, so I think the parents are going to win out on that thing.
Just get a couple bucks aside and give to the teacher to come in a week earlier. That's
Oh,
nice.
there you go. Yeah, well, teachers deserve more than they make, so someone should be paying them.
Yeah, but it sounds like that's a beautiful place and nice for walking. And I like to. I'm a freshwater fisherman, so I like fishing for trout and stuff. My daughter said I'd go crazy. There's streams going crisscrossing all through Breckenridge, and it'd just be wonderful. I said that sounds too much like paradise. I
Yeah.
I'm feeling like I'm in paradise. Why would I want to leave one paradise for the other? She said because it's cooler, Dad. Period. Just cooler. That's all. But
Yeah.
it's all right. I'm feeling fantastic. Good day to the soldiers at Fort Hood, Texas, the soldiers in the state of Texas, and all those that fight for us each and every day. You don't care about the weather. You are there for us no matter what. We do appreciate that. We appreciate your family sharing you with all of us. And do be safe out there.
Yes, indeed. I like that
And be
mindset.
safe
It's
out there to
always
all because a lot of people traveling back, getting back from vacations. You know, be careful on this trip back to the. I don't know. Maybe this is the Holy Land. Are we in the Holy Land here?
Hey, I like the mindset, right? We're in
Sure.
paradise here in Central Texas. We choose to live here for a reason. We love it here, and we deal with the heat. It's how it
And it's
goes.
football season.
Yeah, it's almost football season. Well, speaking of football season, did we just have the game of the year in the NFL?
Oh, come on.
The very first game of the 2026 NFL year? How about
Little
that Hall
hand.
of Fame game last night in Canton, Ohio, Buck?
One of the better ones we've ever seen.
One of the better games we've ever seen.
Little
Forget Hall of
hands.
Fame games. That game was awesome.
Little hands Pickett.
Yeah, Tiny Hands Pickett going up against weird looking Carson Beck to start. But how about the former Aggie and
I
former
know.
Georgia Tech Yellow Jacket, Haynes King, the hero, the walk-off touchdown on the final play of the game. Panthers down by 3. They got the ball at the 6-yard line, and They could have kicked a field goal. I don't even know if there was overtime. I was watching the game on mute, so I don't
I don't
know
think
if.
there is. I don't think there is an overtime.
Well, good. We don't play for ties. The World Cup is over. All right. So Dave Canales, the Panthers coach, leaves the offense on the field. And hey, if you score, you win. If you don't, you lose. And Haynes King does it himself, the king of the night.
Yeah, you knew he was going to run it. That's what he does. You knew he was going to take off and go.
Yeah, well, I think everybody except the Arizona Cardinals' fourth string defense knew he was
Oh,
going to take off
yeah.
and
They didn't,
go.
they were all backed in the back of the end zone.
Yeah, there was no way he was throwing that ball in that spot. I mean, anyone who's
No.
watched Haynes King over his college career knows what he's all about. I mean, we
Yes.
saw it before that play last night. He was very, very impressive, I thought. But how about that? Your first moment in the NFL, a walk-off touchdown on the final play of the game as the clock strikes triple zeros. That was fun last night.
Yeah, he can go on now to be a professional backup. Nothing wrong with that, making money to be the backup guy.
You know how old Haynes King is?
26.
25.
Yeah, I would think he was in that area. Yeah.
Surprised you get. I mean, he's a rookie. Like, usually when you're talking about rookies, it's closer to 21, 22, but I
Well, I mean,
guess
did A&M discarded him, and didn't he go maybe two other places before he ended up at Georgia Tech?
no, he was just at A&M and Georgia Tech. There was no in between. But I think it was 3 years in College Station and 3 years in Atlanta, and I guess that makes 4 years of eligibility somehow.
Yeah.
Three
Wow.
plus three equals four with college football.
Yeah. Yeah, that's the way college football counts these days.
He was a COVID guy, so I think he got a COVID year, and he did get hurt
Wow.
one time, so I think he got a medical year, and now you don't have to leave. But yeah, like that's look for Haynes King. I think he would sign up to be a lifelong backup.
Nothing wrong with that, brother. That's a good living. You do that for hey, do that for 12 years. That's fun.
And I wonder, I mean, Kenny Pickett is the backup. He's the guy who started the game. Obviously, Bryce Young did not suit up for the Panthers last night. There's no controversy there. He's the guy. But I wonder if Haynes King, I mean, you can keep three quarterbacks on the roster, but I wonder if Haynes King can do enough to overtake tiny hands Kenny Pickett. I thought he looked better than him last night.
Yeah, I thought so too. I think I have a feeling that's what they're hoping happens in Carolina.
Yeah. And then Carson
Then they can
Beck.
pass, then they can pass Kenny Pickett on to the next NFL team that needs a backup to the backup.
How many teams is that guy going to get his little hands on?
His little hands. He's gonna have at least a dozen before his career is done.
I feel
He
like
may
he's
have a dozen in the next 2 years.
I feel like he's already at a dozen. I mean, this is the fifth team he's been on in 5 years in the league. So,
Wow.
yeah, that's hey, when you're a former first round pick like he was, you get more chances than other guys. And Kenny Pickett continues to get those chances with his two gloves and small hands. But
God.
yeah, fun one. Carson Beck, third round pick for Arizona. I'm interested to watch Arizona play this year. We talked about this a little bit yesterday because they have a very good chance to be the worst team in the NFL this season. And
Yes.
if that is the case, obviously they will be a part of the Arch Manning sweepstakes. So Carson Beck, he's their rookie. Jacoby Brissett's the starter, but Carson Beck's going to get some playing time, I would think, this season. And if he doesn't do well, even if he does do well, the chance to draft the next Manning, the next of kin in the first family of football, might be too much for the folks in the desert to overcome. But I thought Carson Beck was good, and I'm such a football nerd, Buck. It's like I like watching these games because it's former college players that I remember watching on
Sure.
Saturdays, and then it's like former Cowboys and Texans, like Jalen Brooks, former Cowboys seventh round pick, was the leading Cardinals receiver. John Mechie, former Texans receivers, playing for the Panthers. I don't. It's good to hear Mike Tirico and weird ass Chris Collinsworth on my television again. I know I said I had it on mute for a lot of the game, but I did hear those guys for a little bit, and it's just good to have football on the screen again, man.
Can you tell the Cardinals are a bad team?
Yeah,
even even at that, you can tell they're bad.
yeah. Well, I don't know if there's that much of a difference between like the third and fourth stringers and the first
That's
teamers
what
on
I was thinking.
Arizona.
Yeah.
That's the difference. And man, I need to Venmo Haynes King because I went to Cauchy and traded on Carolina last night.
Of course you
And
did.
you don't think my cousin was sweating that final play of the game. That's
Oh,
why
I
I'm
bet.
like, oh my God, should they kick a field goal like in overtime? We can win this trade if it goes to overtime. And instead, they go for it. Haynes King gets it. That's the Georgia Tech in him. There's no way the Aggie in him makes that big play.
Yeah, is that your first Cauchy maneuver right there?
That's the one right there,
There you
baby.
go. That's the one that starts you.
It sets the tone.
Yeah.
That's it. That's the Hall of Fame game. That's why it's so important. You got to get the Hall of Fame game right.
No.
And that's going to dictate how your cousin does for the entire season.
And but
And
yeah, but you're the thing about that is that doesn't stop you from preseason picks now. You go on from there to preseason picks into the WNBA playoffs. That's how you prepare for the NFL. You go from there preseason to WNBA right into the thick of things.
WNBA's been going on for months, dude.
Yeah, I'm just talking about once they hit the playoffs. You know how they roll into some of the NFL
Oh,
stuff.
you
So
think I wait till the playoffs to get some WNBA coin?
yeah.
Okay. Well, you thought wrong.
Oh my God.
Someone's got to do
There,
it.
there's some people that are very sad to hear this about you.
What,
I
did I
mean,
support women's sports? So
oh yeah.
sorry.
No, they're happy about that. It's just you support that particular sports.
Oh, all
I
right.
thought maybe
Well,
you would wait until FIFA Women's World Cup here next year or something.
don't worry. The cousin will get in on that one, too.
Oh yeah, USA in that deal.
Always. Always. So that was fun. The next preseason game isn't until next Thursday. I don't know how I'm supposed to wait that long. The last 6 possessions of the game last night, 6 scores. The total for that one was 36.5. Both teams nearly got that on their own with the 33-30 final. People are probably mad at us for talking about this game for that long. But based on my Twitter, there were a lot of people tuned in and locked into this one. So, again, good to have live football on the screen. Obviously, the more important stuff will get going later this month. But nice little taste of hopefully what's to come here in 2026.
Yeah, now for the Longhorns, it'll be them getting down to some serious business here over the next couple of days. You know, as I said yesterday, I said that practice number one is a lot of kind of helter skelter guys going certain tempos, other guys trying to pick it up, coaches trying to set the tempo of this is what we do. You don't jog over here, you fly over here. You don't run. I want to see wings. I want to see Red Bull give you wings to get over here, to this next session of practice. And there's always the lollygaggers. Hey, there's always the stars that end up lollygagging over. I always like when you talk about how there are guys who've been around, know the tempo, and they fly over to the next drill. No, generally they're the ones I told you with the helmet in their hand, like lagging over. If this was one of your first times, you better be flying over there, because the coach is picking you out. He ain't picking out he's not picking out the star and saying, "Hey, what are you doing?" He's picking on you. If your tempo isn't different from that guy, so that all changes now. Everybody's tempo is about the same now.
Yeah, I didn't hear any stories of players throwing up yesterday. We had some of that going on day one.
That's
Didn't hear
generally the
that.
first stage, and a lot of that is nerves. A lot of that is nerves from guys trying to make positions. A lot of that's young guys. A lot of that's you don't know quite. You're used to mom's bacon and eggs before you go work out in the morning back home. It's a little bit different here. You know, you may have your stomach can get upset over a lot of stuff. Nerves can make you like that. When you're out there for the first time, you got to be jittery because you don't know where. It's really strange because you don't know where to line up for like drills. You don't know, am I in the middle of the line? Do I go to the front of the line? Do I go to the back of the line? Do I let the upperclassmen move in there? It's kind of cool to see younger guys closer to the front of the line. They always want to prove that I can do this. Just show me, coach, one time what to do. Then they ultimately get up there and screw up the drill. The coach goes nuts, and you never see them up there anymore. Then they go like 2 years, and they never go to the front. They're always either in the middle or the back.
You talk about the nerves. The guy who reportedly yacked a couple of days ago was the true freshman reclass, John Meredith III, who, again, we all just found out a couple of weeks ago that he was joining this 2026 Texas roster. I think he kind of decided a couple of weeks ago to join this Texas Longhorns roster. So understandable with all of the pressure, but also combined with the fact that, yeah, he was not here working out with Torrey Becton and the rest of the team. He hasn't gone through workouts or practices like these. So, yeah, some nerves, some jitters, and some guys who just have to get used to the grind of what it takes to be a college football player. It's not a red flag. It's not a reason to panic. That's just how it goes. I mean, sometimes, Buck, it's the veteran guys who are the ones who, oh, maybe weren't quite doing enough in the offseason to get in shape. That's just how it goes. But that's why you start practicing a month early so you can make
Right.
sure all that stuff is out of the way by the time you play another team.
Yeah, I mean it's just kind of the way it is. As I said, it'll be the young guys, and I guarantee you now that I think about it, with that kid, being, coming in a year earlier, BK, that's mostly nerves. That's that. I mean, that guy didn't go to breakfast before practice and just gorge himself with a bunch of pancakes and sausage. He was nervous as hell. And
Oh,
his
yeah.
stomach just kind of, and he's nervous as hell. I'm not going to drink. I drank enough water last night, even though I need some more right now. And he just upchucked, and it all comes out, man. It is like stuff from like 3 days ago is coming out.
Nasty. Well, funny enough, we've got some sound and we've had some technical issues the last couple of days. So we'll try a clip, see if it works, but it's related to this. So I want to play it right now. It's Jelani McDonald. There was a post practice player availability yesterday. And hopefully we got some sound from Jelani McDonald, Ryan Niblett, and Hero Canoe. But I feel like this is advice for you, Buck, because you always talk about your weekly golf game and you don't stop in the summertime. You play in this heat. Jelani McDonald was asked, like, how do you deal with the heat, and maybe what advice do you give to the younger guys so they can handle the heat?
Just recapping to them just to keep a routine, man. Stay hydrated. Go to sleep on time. Watch a little more film if you need to. Eat, because that's what it comes down to. How much energy you got in your body. If you ain't got no energy, then you can't produce at this level.
Well, he's right. I found that out over the course of the last year and a half. I used to always think it's about hydrating yourself. You can have a little breakfast and then, but for me, BK, and he's right. It's you got to keep fuel in your tank. It's not just putting the water pressure up. It's the other stuff, and that stuff burns up really, really quick. And especially when you're out here in this kind of heat, I've learned now that I bring these nuts. I bring a bag of nuts with me, pecans, and with me for the second round of nine, or a taco sits in my golf cart after nine. I eat that taco going to the second nine. You need to have food out in you. He's right. It's kind of what you eat. Guys are so used to hearing the word hydrate. They're drinking water all the time. They're drinking at night. You know what I'm saying? They've been drinking for days and days. They've been hearing that all their lives playing football.
Yeah.
But like simple stuff like golf or old dudes like myself, and younger dudes, not just old dudes, but guys go out there and they say, you know what? I'll just have a breakfast taco. Oh no, you need before you go play in 100 degrees, you need to get yourself a breakfast in you. Get yourself some eggs, some bacon. Go like BK. He'll stop off at Hat Creek and grab himself. Like me, I'm gonna do a burger now before even.
Yeah.
It's he's right. That's those guys. Those guys know how to treat their bodies. Plus, their bodies will tell them what's going on. If they don't do it the first time, they'll remember it the next time.
Well, it sounds like you're grabbing a handful of.
These nuts.
Oh, I do that. I get, my Costco pecans and I just take a whole mouthful of those things before the bag nine, drink a bunch of water, and I'm ready to go.
Whole
There's a lot of
mouth,
fat. There's a lot of fat in these nuts. You know what I'm saying?
whole mouthful of nuts at the turn, huh?
Yeah, a lot of protein in them nuts.
Uh, Not sure I have any follow-up questions here. Look,
Yeah,
it's
but
important. It's
McDonald now,
important to fuel.
Johnny McDonald's a veteran of all this stuff. He
Yeah.
knows. And plus, Corey Becton is on there. That guy is in their rear ends about, eating, eat. You can't lose weight. They check their weights every time they come off the practice field. You get weighed. You get weighed before you go out, probably, and they weigh you before right after you come in. And they'll say, dude, you lost way too much weight out there today. You
Yeah.
lose 6 and 7 pounds going out there a day. They started to get really nervous about that.
Well, Texas takes its strength and conditioning very seriously. And, we played the sound yesterday from Steve Sarkisian talking about how there were 5 players who had cramping issues on day one, and he said back in 2021, in year one, there were 38 players who had cramping problems on the first day of fall camp. I've talked about it a lot, Buck. You've brought it up a number of times. Like, we've been impressed by the lack of cramping during games. Right?
Yeah.
It
Oh
felt
my,
like during the Charlie
God.
Strong and Tom Herman eras, like third, fourth quarter, there were just guys like on defense, they were just laying down. They were hurting. They'd have to come out because they weren't hydrated. And then we're just not seeing that stuff. So it's
No.
clear that these guys are much better, and that's been a point of emphasis for the entirety of the Steve Sarkisian era.
My God, when Tom Herman was here, every collision there used to be a guy who would have to be carted off the field. I'm like, is that guy hurt again? I mean, we just had all he did was tackle the guy, and he's out for a series or 2 series, and there were guys scattered all over the field. You're right. When Charlie was here and Tom Herman, there were guys that they just weren't physically ready for it.
Yeah, no, you're right. I mean, that's, again, obviously the results, the win-loss record, they speak for themselves. It's why Steve Sarkisian has done a better job than his 2 predecessors. But that's one of the details that maybe doesn't get talked about enough is whatever they are doing strength and conditioning-wise, not just during the season, but all 365 days of the year, that has paid dividends and continues to pay dividends.
Yeah, when you start paying players, it's just not the NIL. It's the payment of players. You want to make sure that's like a fine-tuned car. You don't want that thing all screwed up. You got to take care of it. I mean, they've got nutritionists, telling you what you need to eat, what time you need to go to bed, and all that stuff. But you're going to have your veteran guys, as I said, they know the deal. They know what their bodies are like, BK. They know what they need to put in their bodies. You can tell them all you want about this or about that, but there are going to be guys up at 1 or 2 o'clock in the morning, do what they do like they do all summer long. They may be on the phone with their girlfriends or on the computers doing stuff. They just do. But they understand what's going on with their bodies. Young guys, they just started this madness.
Yeah, well, I don't think it's a coincidence that, again, John Meredith III, the one guy who
Sure.
was not here for the summer. Some guys got here in the summer, but like the one guy who just arrived was the one guy who threw up the other day. So if you're looking for like evidence of what Torrey Becton and his staff are doing is working, then there's your everybody else who had been through it is like, again, there are a few other guys cramped. It wasn't all perfect, but everybody else who went through it in the summertime was able to hold down their lunch. The one guy who didn't was finding the trash can.
Yeah, and generally more so than the summer, you find that spring football is, after that break when you come back from wherever you go and you come back because you just indulge yourself a lot when you're on spring break and you swear how you're going to work out and all you do is eat and drink and lay on the beach. And it's generally the big boys that end
Oh
up
yeah.
coming back like that because all they do is lay out and tan and drink.
Yeah, I wasn't a big boy, but that's all I did. Well, I didn't really tan. I just burned. But the
Burned
laying
and
out and
drink.
drinking part, I had no problems doing those
Yeah.
things. It's good stuff. All right, we'll get to more Texas football conversation. We've got some takeaways from yesterday. Big day for Cam Coleman. Also, no one complained about an echo with the first bit of sound, so we'll keep
Great.
trying to play sound. I'm like muting our mics every time we play it, and maybe
All
that's
right.
working. But before we dive back into the Longhorn football conversation, how about we hit our first round of sponsor shout-outs?
Folks, if you're seeking specialized patient-focused orthopedic care for children and adults, contact the experts at Texas Orthopedics. They offer comprehensive surgical and non-surgical orthopedic care with excellent rehab treatment center. Spinal care, sports medicine, trauma care, joint replacement, and more. Their doctors are dedicated orthopedic surgeons there, and their goal is to get you right back into good health and the great quality of life that you deserve. Once again, they believe in rehabilitation. Every time we say Texas Orthopedics, I think people think that, oh no, time to get that knee replaced. No, they want to rehab you first. They want to find out exactly what the problem is, and then they want to fix it. Texas Orthopedics is the largest independent orthopedic practice in Central Texas. For more information, go to txortho.com.
Yes, indeed. Good God Almighty, they let us get to another Friday, Buck. Can you believe that?
Yes.
Well, the way that I ring in the weekend is with an ice cold Altstadt beer. And this has been a week, let me tell you. No one really cares about my problems, but I'm going to tell y'all some of my problems anyways. mean, all I have to say is 2 words, and everybody will understand why I really need an ice cold Altstadt beer or 12. I'm moving. Those are the 2 words. It sucks. It
And you're
never
not
ends.
moving alone anymore.
No, but like I'm moving. You're right. I'm like living with my girlfriend, or about to be. Say a prayer for me. She has no idea how much extra content she's going to give this show just by existing, by the way. She's going to be roasted nonstop.
Well, that's okay. That's good. She'll enjoy that. That'll be
What she,
fun.
yeah, it's what she signs up for. But like, dude, I mean, I have movers for the big stuff coming tomorrow, but it never ends. I've been taking trip after trip from place to place, and I look around, and there is so much here. And maybe if I just drink an Altstat, it'll all go away. Maybe that's it. Maybe that's what I need to do. It'll make my move more enjoyable. It'll make me relax a little bit. Love the Altstat beer.
Like I said, BK, I'm about to downsize this weekend. My clothing closet of just stuff, it's going.
Well, don't.
I need to, like I said, find out if people need it. You know, the fires and everything else. We'll find that out. But I'm about to box it up, brother.
There we go. Well, you're not allowed to have an Altstat beer while you do that.
No, I cannot.
You cannot, but love the alts. Look, hopefully you're doing something much more enjoyable than either of us are. It sounds like whatever you got going on this weekend, the best beer that you could find is Altstadt, brewed locally in Fredericksburg, easy to find. Bars, restaurants, grocery stores, liquor stores. Y'all know where to buy beer. You can find Altstadt pretty much everywhere now. And if you're looking for something to do this weekend, check out the Altstadt Brewery. It was named Brewery of the Year at the Texas Craft Brewers Cup and at the U.S. Open Beer Championships down there in Fredericksburg. It's the perfect spot for the beer drinkers in your life. Remember to drink Altstadt responsibly. It's Altstadt beer, no impurities, no regrets.
Yeah, your beautiful new home in Terrytown ought to be just wonderful.
Yeah, I ain't living in Terrytown, and I am not.
No,
I'm not a homo yet.
no,
You're a
that's right.
homo. I'm still a renter. So
Yeah, but you're renting a home. You're not, apartment living is over with. People above you and all that stuff is over with.
oh yeah. Well, they're
I'll
probably
be,
happier than I am. I feel like I'm the worst. I mean, they're like the wall behind me that you look at every day. Like I got neighbors right there. And
I
when
mean,
we were,
I can see you out there with your eyes closed before the show in your neighborhood with a little hose in your hand, watering nothing, just dirt that you call a garden. That's going to be fun.
yeah, I'll be watering the neighbors if they make too much noise.
I'm coming over to do a little gardening for you.
There you go. And someone's got to keep up the garden. Lord knows it won't be me. Speaking of the new place, by the way, AV Consultations. By the way, I forgot to say this the other day, but our guy Tom McKay over at AVC has offered a $5,000 wager on the Dodgers versus the field. Now, he's got the field, and I know the Dodgers have lost a bunch of games in a row, but if anybody wants to make some sort of monetary wager with our guy Tom McKay, and you're that confident that the Dodgers are going to three-peat, becoming the first team since your Yankees back in 2000 to do such a thing, and reach out to Tom McKay. Make that one happen. Also, reach out to Tom McKay to, upgrade your home TV setup. I'm already on the schedule. I haven't even moved yet, and Tom McKay is already coming out to my place to look at things and hook me up with another great home TV setup. That's what he does.
Awesome.
It's not just for us. He does that for everybody. He's been doing that since 1988. Just call him. You will thank us later. It's the best call you can make. 512-255-8678. Or you can find out more online at avconsultations.com.
And speaking of being relaxed, you got your TV. You're going to have your new relax the back recliner there too. Is that
Oh, it's
come
already
back?
there. It's already there, man.
Oh, it is?
Yeah, every day that's probably why moving's taken so long, is every time I go to the new place, I have to get like a 15-minute massage in that zero gravity chair. I'm working
Oh, I
hard.
love
I
it.
need a break.
Yeah, well, relax the back. I've been in this office chair here for 20 years. I love this chair. Not getting rid of it. I know they've got some new up-to-date, fancy new ones that work just perfectly, but this one fits my back and suits what my body needs. And you can find something at Relax the Back that's going to fit you too. Zero gravity recliners, Tempur-Pedic mattresses, pillows, human scale office chairs, desks, accessories. They've got it all. And check out their accessories. For those people that are, well, not like me, that don't have back pain, but are anticipating that you'll get older and start getting back pain, might as well get your accessory now. That Relax the Back, that's the place to get it for sure. Two great locations, Hill Country Gallery across from Whole Foods, and in North Austin, the Gateway Shopping Center across from the Container Store. Live pain-free like the buck and relax the back.
Yes, sir. Love relax the back. All right, diving back into the Longhorn football conversation, Buck, one of the big standouts from the first couple of days of fall camp has been Cam Coleman. No surprise. I mean, he has been as good, maybe even better than advertised since getting here back in the wintertime. Of course, the number
Well, hell,
one.
he's never had a quarterback, so if you got a quarterback, it's got to make a difference in your life, doesn't it?
You would think. He's never had a real head coach or real offensive scheme
Oh,
either.
that's true. I forgot that's the whole bit.
So obviously the talent and the ability is there for Cam Coleman, and it has been forever. Talking about a top 5 high school recruit in his class. But now, yeah, you pair him up with all of the talent that he has at Texas, and obviously a good quarterback and a good head coach, and feels like the sky is the limit for Cam Coleman. He's been a great player and a great leader since getting here. But like, another sign that Cam Coleman is a superstar, Buck. Look, Texas takes special teams seriously. I think we know that. And the Longhorns very often put some of their best offensive and defensive players on special teams, right? And not just as returners. I mean, Xavier Worthy was the best wide receiver on this team a couple of years ago. He was the punt returner. But we see all sorts of like starting players on offense and defense play big roles on special teams. Outside of quarterbacks and like the big linemen who just obviously aren't going to play on special teams, there's been 2 guys who have not been participating in special teams drills so far. It's Colin Simmons and it's Cam Coleman.
I got that. I understand that a lot.
Yeah, everybody else, like Brian Wingo, Jelani McDonald, Raheem Biles, all of these dudes, and there's so many dudes on this team, they're all doing something on special teams when that part of practice happens. Colin Simmons and Cam Coleman, those are the 2, again, outside of the quarterbacks and the 400-pound defensive linemen, those are the guys who are doing other things off to the side.
Thank you, Coach. I respect that. I agree with that 100%.
Yeah, and Coleman, it's not like he's just sitting out. I mean, he's playing a little catchy-catch with the quarterbacks while that stuff is happening, honing his craft. But, I mean, yeah, you're seeing some of these clips on social media of the first 2 days. He's making big catches. There was a big, deep shot, 50-plus yard touchdown pass on a bomb from Arch Manning to Cam Coleman. Again, shells and shorts going up against air. Take it for what you will. But I just keep thinking, Buck, I know we've made this a Ryan Wingo conversation a lot, but it's obviously a Cam Coleman conversation too. If the deep shot is there with those 2 guys, the ceiling of this offense just goes up exponentially. And last year, Texas was so bad at the contested catches, and I know that's not always deep balls, but a lot of times you chunk it deep, it's going to feel like a 50-50 ball. Texas was horrible at those last year. If they can get better at that with Cam Coleman, I think they will. And if just the timing and chemistry can improve with Ryan Wingo, then this offense can be that 40-point-per-game offense that you've been praying for.
Yeah, hell, the best 50-50 ball guy is now playing at Oklahoma from last year.
I think DeAndre Moore technically was, but I think Parker Dedston was right behind him. So either way, the 2 best guys are no longer with us.
Yeah, I just can't imagine you having to do that with Cam Coleman. Those balls are going to be thrown where only he can go get it, which is going to be fun to see. And a lot of those balls are going to be thrown where guys just go get it. There's not going to be many underthrown balls, I don't believe.
Well, here's a good thing with Cam Coleman playing with god-awful quarterbacks the last 2 years. Like, he's trained. You know, if a ball is not perfectly thrown, he can adjust his body and make the play. He could go pluck it out of the air. Like, it doesn't need to be a perfect throw for him to come down with the football. And yes, Arch Manning is significantly better than Jackson Arnold and Peyton Thorne, but like, not every single one of Arch Manning's throws is going to be perfect. Not every single one of Mahomes' throws are perfect. Like, that's just the nature of the beast. So to have a guy who's already very well trained and having to make catches on bad balls, hopefully he doesn't have to do that often, but that's a nice trait to have, I would think.
Yeah, that's going to be he's got to be excited every time he takes the field. Yeah. You know, this is you know, he's been in a nightmarish offense for years now, and to come here, you know, the spring must have been cool for him, and now to come here in fall camp before the season for his last season. This got to be just great for him. It's great for the damn quarterback too.
Well,
Having
yeah.
guys that can just get down the field and go.
That's the thing. Like last year, I mean, if a ball wasn't good from Arch Manning, it wasn't getting caught ever,
No,
because a lot of times when the ball was good from Arch Manning, it wasn't getting caught. So having that guy who can make him look better, obviously the height, the speed, the everything else he brings to the table, but just having somebody who can clean up your mistakes from time to time, it felt like that wasn't there often enough in 2025. And with Cam Coleman, I think it's going to be there. And look, Arch didn't throw a ton in the spring, so I think KJ Lacey is probably better than some of the Auburn quarterbacks that they've had the last couple of years.
probably
But
yeah.
yeah, now that Arch is out there, yeah, it's got to feel like paradise, to use a word that we used earlier in the show today, Buck.
Just keep it up. The points per game will go up. If these guys if they're just consistent,
Yeah.
that's the points. The points will go up, and Wingo once again. I'll just be having my eye on him because he's the guy who can make the points. The points just mount up. I'm talking 38, but maybe could be talking 40 BK with that guy, and if he's consistent enough, because Arch Manning's going to go to him. He likes him.
Yeah, last year he did. I mean, Steve
Yeah.
Sarkisian made him the focal point of the passing game, and yeah, Arch clearly wanted to go to Ryan Wingo often, and again, the numbers were pretty good enough to be second team All
Right,
SEC.
and until I see the tight ends really step out and somebody step up and be that guy, I'm going to believe the receivers. There are going to be a lot more receivers in there than tight ends. I know he likes to play two tight end sets, but I'm not buying it. And not when I got those kind of guys, those kind of weapons around.
Yeah, I don't know. I think we're still going to see a lot of tight end play for Texas this year. And a positive note on that, I mean, Michael Masunas has been another impressive standout from the first couple of days of fall camp. It's so early. Again, pads aren't even on yet. You don't want to make depth chart declarations at this
Right.
point, but you're looking for one of those tight ends to separate. There's four, and they're all four going to play this year, but you'd like to feel like really good about one guy at least, not two or three, when the Longhorns take the field on September 5th, maybe more so on September 12th. And Michael Masunas, who is just built like an edge rusher, just huge frame, has apparently been good running routes, fleet of foot. He's looked the part, I guess, through the first
And he
couple of
hasn't
days.
he hadn't had a great quarterback throwing him a ball either.
I can't even name who's been playing football
Oh
at
God,
Michigan State.
Michigan.
They still have D'Antonio. Is Saban coaching there still?
No, Saban's not there anymore.
Not D'Antonio. They well, I know. Oh, Pat Fitzgerald is their coach now, but he wasn't there the last couple of years.
No.
They've been a disaster. They have been an absolute disaster since Black Saban was there. Remember Mel
Good
Tucker?
Lord.
He called himself Black Saban.
Yeah, that used to be a proud program. They used to be, at one time they were okay.
Yeah, okay.
They were just kind of okay, Michigan State.
Well, now they're not okay. Now they're very far
No,
from okay. But
they won't be.
Masunas,
Hey, they're not going to be the next Indiana.
no. Well, Masunas hopefully is more than okay now that he's at Texas. And yeah, he's got better quarterback play and a better team around him, and I'm excited to see what he can do. PFF loves him. He's the highest graded returning tight end in America, according to Pro Football Focus. So we'll see. I mean, most of that I think is blocking related. Just 19 catches last season. Did have 3 touchdowns, but not numbers that will blow you away as a tight end. But again, looking for somebody to step up and separate to where you and I and Longhorn Nation just feels better about Sark going 11 personnel, but maybe more
Yes.
so 12 personnel, because those are going to be packages that we see from this team. Sark's been here long enough to understand that.
Yeah, I don't have any wide receivers wasted that could be running some patterns inside. If you got a whole talented group, and it's like you said, he's only going to trust about 4 of them. There's not going to be 5 or 6 of them. It just happens that way with him.
Yeah, well, you got to run the ball too, and having extra tight ends, those guys are typically better blockers than the wide receivers, so that's
No doubt.
obviously a part of the equation as well. But yeah, look, I think there's a pretty clear pecking order at the top of the wide receiver room. I don't want to say everybody else is fighting for scraps, but everyone's fighting to be wide receiver 4 for this
for
football
sure.
team. It's Coleman, it's Wingo, and it's Mosley, and those should be your top three. I think those three guys are all good enough to be number ones for some Power 4 teams around the country. So
Yes.
it's an embarrassment of riches, easy for me to say, that Texas has out there. All right, how about some sound from Ryan Niblett, the All-American punt returner?
Didn't I say I don't want to hear him say anything or do anything except for go back there and return punts? Why is he talking?
Oh, so should we not get to this sound?
No, we need to get to it anyway.
I don't choose who gets to talk to the press after practice. That would be Steve Sarkisian. You want to take that up with Coach Sark?
I may have to take that up with the coach.
Yeah, hey, the more he's talking, the less he's returning. Get him back
Yeah,
there.
hey, there you go. That's it.
I don't know. I don't know if that guy needs a whole lot more practice. I know he is practicing, but like, if he could just do exactly what he did last year, he's good.
That would be fantastic.
He can sit out these next few weeks. Obviously, that isn't happening. Well, we'll start with this one from Ryan Niblett. He was asked about the difference between this year's team and last year's team.
Just overall how together we are. Just the running back and running backs included. Just how together we are. We can talk about anything. Like last year, I'll say like you can tell there's running backs over here and running backs over here. We were all together. But this year, like we laugh, we joke together. We just put it all together, and make good friendships with each other.
Just go back there and return the punts.
Come on, man. Oh, it's a closer knit group. All of Steve Sarkisian's culture work is working, right? That's good.
We're bowling together. We're going to 7-Eleven together. Yeah, okay.
Playing
That
pickleball.
Huh?
Playing pickleball together.
We're playing pickleball together.
Hey,
That's
Ryan
great.
Wingo. Ryan Wingo's a father now. He's got a young daughter.
We're
You
playing
don't care about her either. Just don't even be a dad. Go return punts,
Hey,
Ryan.
we're playing ping pong together.
Oh, no ping pong allowed. That brings me back to the Charlie days. Too much UTSD on that deal.
No, that's fine. That's good. It's a together group. Well, together group because that's who he hangs out with now, right? He's hanging out with the running backs.
Yeah, that's his position group now, and we're all curious, like, okay, what's Ryan Niblett's role going to be on offense? He's been working with the running backs. He's been the number 3 running back for the first couple of days of camp behind Hollywood Smothers and Relief Brown, who have kind of gone 1A and 1B. Here was a pretty short answer from Ryan Niblett when asked about his role on offense this season.
I'm more of like I say like a gadget role. Just to put me like line me up out the receiver, running back, or just anything like however they want to use me.
Yeah, in other words, when you come in, the ball's coming to you, and all 11 on defense know it's coming to you. Just see 11 guys take off to where number was he 21, right?
Yep.
Wherever he goes, 11 guys follow.
What did Ryan Niblett do to you?
He's a great punt returner. I love a great punt returner. I was the punt return guy, punt return coach.
Oh, man.
I love those guys. Just put them on. Hey, where the kickers go? You go over there with them. You don't have a position. Go catch another punt.
Yeah, but you talk about how your returners played on offense, right? They were allowed to have different jobs on the team, no?
I don't think he's Kelvin Martin.
I don't know if he has to be Kelvin Martin.
No, you know what he has to be? The guy that catches the punt.
There you go. Well, we'll
Hey,
see.
and the more work you get at it, the better you are.
I think that what Ryan Niblett said is pretty obvious. I mean, he's a gadget guy. Like,
Right.
he basically told you what you already knew. They're not going to hand the football off to him between the tackles.
Yeah,
Like,
and if 2 guys get hurt, he's probably not really going to be the third guy. He's
No.
a gadget guy, but the third guy by that time. But if something catastrophic happened in practices over and first 2 games with those first 2 running backs, maybe then he gets to be the running back because they're nervous about it. But I would expect the freshman by that, or Simon or somebody who's been around, who knows the offense, would be ready to go in a pinch. I don't expect Ryan Niblett to be the guy going in every other series or anything.
no, I mean, again, he's just not a traditional running back. Like, they're going to
Right.
line him up in the backfield. And he basically told you they're going to line him up at wide receiver. They'll probably motion him out from time to
Right.
time. And yeah, look, I'm fine with him having a role in the offense, but you hit the nail on the head. They can't give the ball to Niblett every single time he's on the field. Like, he can be a decoy. They've got enough. Last year, the offense was just looking for explosiveness. And that's
Sure.
why it's like, okay, this guy's clearly explosive. We need more of that on this side of the football. Let's put him out there. But now you've got enough explosive players to where, yeah, you could put him out there, but you don't have to go to him to pick up an explosive play.
I know, it's just so weird because it was almost like, do you really think those guys over there are dumb? Those other guys over there who are making like $600,000 a year too. I mean, they have real jobs too, and they watch film that they're not going to think when that guy goes on the field, they're going to go the opposite way of where he goes. When
Right.
every time he gets on the field, you give him the ball. I'm like, that doesn't make sense. I think they know that on defense. Like I told you, I see guys just leave the spot and go running wherever he is. It's the weirdest thing. And yeah, you got to use him as a decoy. You can fake him on the reverse
Yeah.
and drop back and throw the ball. That would be a novel idea when he's in the game too.
Well, you just can't give all of your attention to Ryan Niblett on defense anymore.
Right.
Like, all right, maybe the first 3 times Ryan Niblett's on the field, Texas goes to him, and then the 4th time, oh, you forgot about Cam Coleman? Uh-oh. Like, you didn't have that last year. So, I
Yeah,
don't know.
I understand what they were, and like you said, I understand what they were doing. They just needed some explosive plays.
Of
They didn't
course.
give a crap about if 11 guys knew. They thought maybe he could beat all 11 guys when they dumped him the ball.
He had a couple of good plays on offense last year, but yeah, I'm fascinated to see his role. But you're right, like, he's not the number. Like, Derek Cooper will be the 3rd actual running back.
Yes, he will
And
know. He will know the offense by then,
yeah,
or they can
and
get through a game with the offense that he has in his mind. If he's the pass protector that they say he is, there's certain passes, there's certain things that he can do. He'll pick up that. That blitz pickup part for him. I mean, he may not know exactly all the routes or what to do route running some of the time. He knows when the ball is coming to him on routes, but he also knows how to count and which guy he has if that guy blitzes, you know?
yeah, and I wouldn't put too much stock into Ryan Niblett being ahead of Derek Cooper in camp right
No.
now. Like, that's kind of been a theme for Sark since he's been here, and we've seen it this week. The young guys have to earn it. Like, hey, great, you were great in the spring, you were great in the summer, that's fine, but like, you got to earn it. We're just not going to give you reps. These guys have been here, they've worked their ass off. They're leaders on this team. Like, okay, earn your spot, kid. And I
Yeah,
think Derek Cooper will.
that's how important game one is to some of these young guys to
Sure.
show what they can do, what their talents are like, away from playing against their own players. And it doesn't matter the competition. Well, it matters, but it doesn't. You know what I'm saying? It's the fact that it's live and you've got 100,000 people there screaming and yelling, and you can be nervous, but you're still making plays. That's when you get your opportunity to show the coaches. And then you get a little nervous about putting them in Ohio State, but that's at that time, BK, that's crap or get off the pot time at this level. You get in that game and you make things happen. Now you're on your way to a nice career.
I don't know if game 2 of a college career is crap or get off the pod game, Buck.
Well, I mean, in that type of atmosphere, you can't choke in that deal. You
Right.
got to
Well,
be able to be.
it's maybe we're not letting you in the bathroom yet. It's not like you better have it figured out or else
Oh no, you're gonna. But yeah, but you
that's
can't
crap or
go.
get off the pot.
I mean, it's not like you have to have a lot of success, but if you do, and you're capable, and you take care of the ball, and you do some, you make some things happen, you got a real shot at being there a lot.
Yeah. And there are guys who won't play much against Ohio State who will play a lot against Ole Miss on October 31st.
Yeah, by that time they'll be ready to go.
Right. It's just later in the season and their roles will be expanded and you'll just know more about these guys. You'll trust these guys more. And that's the nature of the beast. More from Ryan Niblett here, Buck. How about special teams penalties? Everyone's talking about penalties. This is great. I mean, it
Isn't it?
sucks. I wish we didn't have to talk about this stuff, but everybody is talking about penalties and asking about penalties and, hey, what are you doing to fix those penalties? Ryan Niblett was asked about all of the special teams penalties last year. I don't know if he committed any of them, but he's obviously a big part of the special teams units. Here was Niblett when asked about those problems last year and kind of what Texas is doing about it.
That's definitely been talked about. He even put up stats of how many penalties we had, how many yards we had on them penalties. So just overall seeing the numbers is a different perspective. So, yeah, we talked about that a lot.
Yeah, because the players don't run back and look at the stats, BK. They look at all the good stuff. They don't look back at the P word and say, we did that happened to us. Unless you're the punt returner and that yardage gets taken off your punt returns, those guys look at it. But the basic dude going down there and making tackles and all, they're not looking at stats. But guess what? The special teams coach got them all looking at the stats now.
Yeah, well, I wish they were doing that more during the season last year. You know, it's good. Again, I'm glad they're focusing on it and they're harping on it, and hopefully that pays dividends when this season starts. But yeah, look, the offensive line, the biggest culprit, but way too many special teams penalties that negated good Ryan Niblett returns, that cost Texas field position, put the Longhorns behind the 8 ball, all of those things. Again, special teams, it's just, you got to eliminate the bad, right? Like, there's obviously a lot of good, and there was a lot of good last year, and there have been some very high moments in the Jeff Banks era of Texas special teams, but there have also been some really low lows. Like, for every high, you could think of 1 or 2 lows where it's like, how does this happen at a place like Texas?
Yeah, like I said, 2 great punt returns are fabulous. But if you get one blocked and somebody rolls on it in the end zone for a touchdown, you look at those 2 punt returns and you go, damn, we just got beaten the special teams game. And all you had 2 punt returns taken to the house. But that one block just, it's like nothing ever really happened good for you.
All right. You had the block against Florida. You had, obviously, the onside kick against Georgia. I mean, look, you remember the losses more than the wins, at least I do.
Yes.
But like so many, obviously the SEC championship loss to Georgia a couple of years ago, special teams playing a big role. It's just so many of these losses that Texas has had in recent years. There are other things too.
The stuff, the fake punts and all that stuff, it's not that the other team's so smart. It's just you're so dumb. I mean, really?
They're clearly, like, Kirby Smart is clearly confident that he can do this stuff and call this stuff, and Texas isn't going to be able to stop it.
Yes.
And he's right. He's been right every single time.
Yeah, it's time for him to be wrong. It's time for him to try one of those that gets intercepted and goes the other way for a touchdown.
Yeah, it's time for Georgia to just not make the SEC championship or the college football playoff, so we don't have to
you're
worry.
right.
We don't have to worry about that anyways.
We don't need to see them no matter what anyway.
No, I'm okay with not playing Georgia this year. I mean, at some point, we'll have
it's good that they're paying. It's good that they're paying attention. But just get back there and catch some more punts.
Yeah, stop talking to the press. Well, we got one more bit of sound from Ryan Niblett here. Sorry to let you down. This is more time he's spent not
catching punts.
Not catching punts. Yep. That's disappointing, Ryan. How could you? He was asked about Arch Manning and how Arch is different this year. We played the cut earlier about how the team is different in 2026 versus 2025. How about the quarterback?
His mindset, how he approach. He's the first one in, the last one to leave every day. He's not afraid to correct his guys. I'll just say in that aspect in the game, and he's just moving much quicker. He see the game much slower, so that is very different.
Yeah, I mean, I like when a guy who doesn't play a position talks about another guy. One of the guys who's got to be the leader. He talks about how, the game is slowed down in a way for him, and that he's not afraid to make corrections to other guys. He's not afraid to say, "Hey, dude, you need to be there, not where you think you need it to be. You're supposed to be right there. That's where I'm expecting you to be." That's the thing that I think will really separate it all. He's got good players around him, but you got to be able to tell those good players when they screw up, this is where you were expecting them to be. We've been doing it this way all summer, all spring, all summer, and then you get in a game and you're not where you're supposed to be. He's got to be able to correct those guys in the moment, and that practice is the moment right now.
And it sounds like Arch has been doing that, and he's been doing a better job of that this year. And sometimes that's got to be tough, right? You're the quarterback, so you have to be the leader. But when you're going into your first year as a starter and you're replacing Quinn Ewers, who was the leader before
Sure.
you, and it's like, all right, well, I don't have as many skins on the wall as a lot of these players. Maybe it's, I don't know if you want to do that right off the bat. But this year, Arch Manning, one of the leaders, one of the best players on this team, like he has to do that. And it sounds like you hear any player talk, you hear any coach talk, it sounds like he's done a much better job, and it's just much more natural and comfortable for him to be a leader and to hold guys accountable like you're talking about.
Yeah, I mean, it's like I said, when your leader can come out and tell you you're wrong, and
Yeah.
you not have a problem with it, that's how you build up all that team chemistry right there. You don't want some dude telling you you're wrong. They can't do the job that you do. You know what I'm saying? You
Right.
get one of your boys at running back, the same guy who's not being able to hold on to the ball, talking about you not being in the right spot, and you look over at him and go, "Dude, you just dropped the ball on you got fumbled, and we're doing drills and you're fumbling the ball. Don't tell me what to do." It's tough. You have to have the right guys that are telling you what you need to do and what you don't need to do. And Arch Manning is the guy. That will be his big step up, I think, this year, is the way he leads his team that way.
Yeah, the starting wide receiver doesn't want to hear the fourth team offensive lineman tell him he's doing something wrong. It's like, all right, what do you know here, guy? But when
That
you're
it happens. It
yeah,
happens.
sure.
There's guys, certain guys know it all, and they're at different positions, but it's different. Like, I mean, if Dan Neal was back in the day was talking to a running back, and Dan Neal doesn't play running back, but he's telling this guy, you should have been on this side, not that side of where I made this block. I mean, you're like, stop and go, you're right. You're right about that.
Oh yeah, yeah. If Trevor Goosby's trying that now, you're gonna listen to him.
Oh yeah, if he's saying, no, dude, he said, you could have helped me right there. The guy was beating me to the outside. You never left the backfield. Can you help me out a little bit? You know what kind of player he is. We talked about this guy on Ohio State, but he's on my outside shoulder beating the crap out of me. You're standing about there picking your butt. You could have helped me out. And now the quarterback's getting pressure on him. I mean, those guys can say stuff to you, and you understand.
Picking your butt? I don't understand that. What's this, Taco Bell lettuce? You're bringing back the butt lettuce here, dude?
The old lettuce thing. The old
Nasty.
lettuce wrap.
All right, well, we'll chop it up with Evan Veith of Inside Texas momentarily. He's been at the first couple of days of Longhorns fall camp. We'll get his thoughts on what he's seen and pray that there's no echo. But before we dive back into the Texas football conversation, Buck, how about another round of sponsor shout-outs?
Say hello to Jane, the gang over at Sue Patrick. Since 1975, the incredible selection of Longhorn apparel. Of course, they've got accessories. They've got tons of Texas-themed gifts, items, hats. How about the hats, folks? The hats, the T-shirts, the scheduled shirts are out. Waiting for those scheduled glasses to go. That hat, they have that hat. That's a hideous hat. I'm just going to say it. I've been wanting to say that for the last 4 years, BK. That hat is hideous. That hat's going to get you punched in the face, period. And that's okay. If you want to be punched in the face, if you want to start a brawl, that hat is going to do it. I'm telling you. I want you to wear that hat, but that hat is going to get you.
You want me to get my ass kicked?
No, I don't want you to get your ass kicked. I want you to give that to somebody who you know is going to get in a brawl with that.
Okay.
That's one of those hats right there that our buddy Chris Phillips, if you ever put that on and he went to the OU game, would they get after him for that right there? If
Yes.
he wore that anywhere else in the SEC, that hat, that could get you in a fight. But I love it. We love Sue Patrick, of course. Folks, free shipping on any online orders, $59 and more. Free curbside pickup. Plenty of parking space at 5222 Burnett Road. 50 years of service in Central Texas. The Jelly Cats have been restocked over at Sue Patrick. For more information, go to SuePatrick.com. Shirts and blouses and all the polos in all sizes. Hey, small to quadruple large, BK.
I feel like it's quadruple X is what they call it.
Okay, quadruple X.
He's fat.
Really?
Yeah. That's
Jay's
what
going to
it
have
is.
to comment here. There's going to be a comment coming in here shortly.
Of course there is. All right. Love Sue Patrick. Also love our friends at Roger Beasley Mazda South, the #1 Mazda dealer in the state of Texas. I love their showroom. It's so nice. First of all, the people there are incredible, but it is beautiful, man. And these new Mazdas, my goodness. We've talked about it all week long. They gave me a CX-5 to borrow. I got it.
Are you driving around like the Buck now? Every place, just getting in the car and going for drives?
All I want to do is drive now. And like I'm moving and I'm using like my regular car to move because I'd feel bad putting like all the crap in there. And I'm like, I wish I didn't have to do this so I could drive the Mazda CX-5. It's so nice. It is so nice. The 2026 model, total refresh. Go take that bad boy for a test drive. And Mazda South, the best dealership there is. 30 consecutive Mazda President's Club awards. Again, the #1 Mazda dealer in Texas. They have set the standard for excellence. You see Mazdas driving around all over Central Texas with good reason. Super reliable, super safe, super comfortable. The style now is ridiculous with these upgrades that they've made. And of course, the Roger Beasley name, 55 years serving Central Texas, and they are still growing. Trade-ins, they do. New cars, pre-owned, certified, they got it all. Go see our friends at Mazda South. Roger Beasley Mazda South off of I-35, just south of Highway 71.
Treat that car very, very good, because first time I got a loaner car from Niall Maxwell, I put Faith the goat in the back of the car.
Put a goat in the back of a loaner?
I put it in the it had a hatchback. I put the goat in the back. But the stupid goat wouldn't stay back there. It came up when I was driving the car, when I picked the goat up, and it was up in the front seat and trying to drive the car with me. It was the worst vision coming down 71 with Buck with a goat in the back of Niall Maxwell's car. And let me tell you, that goat shit all over the inside. There were pellets in the front seat. I'm like, goat, get out of here. I'm like punching the goat in the head. You know, this goat is trying to ram me when I was driving, BK, and I'm elbowing this goat to get in the back seat. I'm going to say it was in the top 5 dumb things I've ever done in my life. Was to put a goat in the back of a Niall Maxwell car.
Oh, you've got a lot of candidates for that list, too.
I know. That's a top 5er. I mean, that's a top. Can you imagine? Goats get pissed. You know, and that goat is like ramming me with its horns while I'm driving down 71. Oh God, I hate it.
That's fantastic. Well, every time we talk to Evan Veith, I mean, it just feels like we're all over the place right before we bring him on, and I almost feel bad for him. But joining us now, one of our favorites. He covers all things Texas Longhorns for our friends at Inside Texas at InsideTexas.com. He is Evan Veith. Evan, sorry about that. Thanks so much for the time today, man. How are you?
It's really like clockwork. I mean, Bucky's going to say something wild, and you just got to pull adjectives out of the hat and a noun and a place to find out what it's going to be. And you told me goats in the back of a Mazda or the back of a car, whichever it was, would not have had that written down.
Just amazing. I by the way, I never got another car from that dude. Good joke.
Oh, stunning. Yeah, I couldn't take a joke. All right, Evan. Well, a lot to dive into for the first couple of days of Texas fall camp. Would love to get you've been covering everything. I hate asking the all-encompassing what have you seen, but is there something you've been paying attention to the most? Is there something that you've noticed that maybe caught you off guard? What's kind of top of mind through the very early stages of Texas fall camp?
Yeah, I think one of the pieces that Coach Sarkisian was pointing out, and some of the players have as well, is the presence of some of these newer coaches on the roster. And we've seen two years now, or I guess way longer than that. But in the last 2 years, I've noticed Jeff Banks, right? Like when I've been going to these things, and I've noticed some of the other tertiary staff members. But you're so close to Will Muschamp and the guys around him, and Blake Gideon being part of the coaching staff, Jabbar Jalouk now. You really feel more than ever kind of this intensity from the staff. And that's what Sarkisian said. Like, on those first days when he does those very first press conferences, he's rare to like really shout out anyone in particular, just because it's day one of camp and there's only so much he's able to see. But, he mentioned his coaching staff. Like, they did a good job of instilling the culture both in the offseason and kind of bringing it the first day of camp. And I felt like it was there the second day. I posted a clip of Will Muschamp digging in pretty hard on Wardell Mack on one play where he just kind of did the rep wrong, and Muschamp making up curse words that you didn't know were existing before to talk about it. But then you hear that Wardell Mack had an interception later in practice, and I'm not saying that Muschamp was directly related to that, but it's just a point of reference that these players are taking to some of the coaching, and it really stood out just the way he was operating, the way Jeff Banks was operating. Some of these kind of secondary staff members too. Steve Kasula is kind of that secondary tight end coach now, which is, I don't think, a name a lot of people are really focusing on, and for good reason. It's just your backup tight end coach in a way, but it's allowed for Jeff Banks to kind of take this observant role while Kasula's doing a lot of the more technique stuff. And so the tight ends were getting really, really aggressive in the blocking techniques that I've seen them do. So just a lot of Muschamp talk, a lot of the players going, they can't decide who the most, I guess not intimidating, but just the most energetic and the most loud coach is. It's Muschamp, it's Banks, it's Kabarja Luke's another option there. Just a lot of intensity from the staff, and I think that's really shown in the first 2 days.
Yeah, a lot of experience on that staff.
Mm-hmm.
A lot of guys that have been to really some good places and coached been a lot of time on the football field with those coaches. And the players should get a lot out of it too. I mean, I've got to believe the tempo, the tempo has been good around there. Evan, it's just that's the kind of football that they play at Texas now. But the tempo of these early first couple days, you try to get used to the tempo of the coach. What is he expecting? How he expects you to move from one drill to the next drill. That's where all the yelling gets. You get a lot of yelling, and when that horn blows and it's time to go somewhere else. And I was telling BK how you get some lollygaggers, and generally it's the older players that kind of, they know how to take their time going over, because if they take their time getting to the next segment, that the minutes just keep going and going. So I bet you the tempo is pretty quick right now.
Yeah, and I never felt like Texas had a problem with that in their practices, but they're definitely, you feel that, Bucky, that urgency when that horn blows. It's just a mass migration of everyone moving over to their side of the field, and coaches getting on them for not moving fast enough. And I think the players they know the Texas heat. They're used to it at this point. We heard about John Meredith on day one. I saw him having some struggles with that Khalif Lockett as well. But day two, it didn't seem like there was anyone that was really feeling that pressure. And also, Stark joked like, okay, yeah, they had 5 cramps on Monday. It was 38 when he first came into the program. So, on the first day, not on Monday. But like that's just. It seems like this team is overall a little bit more well meshed than they might have been last year, and that's a credit to some of that culture building that Stark had talked about. But also, I think it's just a really well put together group of veterans that are helping these young guys out.
For sure. Evan Veith of Inside Texas joining us here on Bucky and BK. I think it was last night, Evan, you wrote about Hero Canu's comments regarding Justice Terry. Justice Terry, former 5-star, going into his second season at Texas. Of course, the defensive lineman. We saw him play some last year, but it was a crowded room. He didn't get a ton of playing time. Hero Canu called him a generational talent, which is pretty crazy to hear from a guy as accomplished as Hero Canu is. Your thoughts on that comment, and also maybe what are realistic expectations for Justice Terry in his second season in Austin?
Yeah, I kind of point out in the article, like, when do you hear a player saying another guy's a generational talent in fall camp? And that's going from Kanu, who's, he's been around the block. He's seen Ohio State and Texas rosters, and he knows not to say anything too crazy, but he was honest about it. He said, this is my breakout pick on the roster. This guy is a generational talent. And I feel a little vindicated in saying that, because day one, when I was a little more focused on the defense for reporting for Inside Texas, I thought Justice Terry was the best defensive player on the field. And, that's when Colin Simmons is Colin Simmons kind of has the luxury to take it a little slower and ramp up in the process. But Terry was extremely explosive on just, it's running into a dummy in practice, but the way he moves his feet is just different from the rest of the guys in the room. And that's not to say that there's not other good pass rushers, but he has so much explosiveness in his legs that you just see how quickly he can move, even with up to 290 now is what we're hearing that he's weighing, at least on the roster sheet. So it doesn't look like he's any bigger in this fact that he's slowed down. He seems to have that same explosiveness, the same ability to get through, bigger guards, which he's going to be going up against. But now he's doing it with a little bit less ability to be moved in the run game. So you're looking at combining these things, and also just the natural progression of year one to year two, you take a pretty big jump as a player. I think Terry is really in line to not just play this year, but even if it's not the most snaps on the team, be really, really important when he's in the game, really disruptive when he's in the game. Maybe that even translates into, like, by the end of the year, we're talking about a starting defensive tackle.
Awesome. Evan, what do you see from the running backs, the two new dudes that are here? I mean, just in drills and the movement that they have. I mean, are they guys that when they get the ball, they don't just go 5 yards and come back to the huddle? Are they running down the field, making cuts and doing things?
Yeah, I think the staff prioritizes having their guys finish their runs a lot in these drills. It's not, you run outside zone, they want you to make a back cut. That's the call, but you're expected to run through, which, it's just small things like that are interesting to me. But it's clearly a more explosive group and also a bigger group of players, right? Like they pair this idea of, like, we brought in Brown and Smothers because they just are able to hit home runs better. They're more effective down and down as well, while also bringing that speed. And you can see that. I mean, Brown he gets so much movement in his legs. I think it's because of that low center of gravity he's got. And so that generates a lot of power, even though he's a smaller player. And then Smothers, there's one clip of him where he's kind of moving towards the sideline and he makes this cut where it doesn't even seem like he loses any momentum getting upfield. And, that looks different on air than it looks between pads. But just two players that it's similar types of players, but their running style is different. That really stands out to me. But you also look and, last year's fall camp, Michael Terry was not part of the running back room. So this year you're going from, the biggest guy was CJ Baxter and kind of no one else to now we have Michael Terry and Derek Cooper, those are big guys on that running back room. They look bigger than I remember Texas running backs looking in the last 2 years. And so that translates to, I think Derek Cooper's twitchiness really stuck out to me. And honestly, the most of any running back, like he makes these subtle movements with I think it's his hip movement that really does it, that looks like he's just able to make this one cut home run move that's going to show up some point this year. And we pointed out, or we were talking to Ryan Niblett yesterday for media availability. And, I kind of pointed out to him, like, yeah, I saw that Relief Brown was, like, dancing a little bit before practices. It seems like he and Smothers are, like, connected at the hip. And he's like, yeah, like, if I had to describe this room, they're goofy. Like, Raleigh Brown is just such a character. And I can't wait for us to talk to him a little more, because it seems like he's just this perfect evaluation from Sarkisian in terms of on-field ability, but also, like, just kind of bringing it. I don't know if there's a better word for it, but vibes. Like, it just seems like he's always happy, always energetic, always uplifting the rest of that room. And that really matters when you're talking about a room that, there's some veterans there, but it's pretty young behind Smothers and Brown.
Yeah. Never a bad time for good vibes. I like that. Evan Beath of Inside Texas joining us here on Bucky and BK. Well, you brought up Ryan Niblett, kind of a point of contention on this show, Evan, and something we were talking about earlier is what type of role should Ryan Niblett have? I mean, Bucky's mad that he even talked to y'all. He's like, just go return punts. Every question you answer from the media is taken away from your punt returning time. But any indication, maybe too early to tell, but what type of role, if any, do we think Ryan Niblett's going to have on Steve Sarkisian's offense?
He said that they're looking to get him more touches, and I bet he would have said that last offseason too. I don't really read that much into it, and he wouldn't say a number or anything. I do think Sarkisian knows that when Niblett has been in the game in the past, it's been a little either too obvious or just too inefficient with what they were trying to do. Because really, when you have Niblett in the game, the run up the middle for him, just an inside zone carry, even if it catches the defense off guard, it doesn't really work. Like, that's not the goal of doing this. It's kind of like having a wildcat where your quarterback in the wildcat can't throw, and you really force that throw in the wildcat games. Like, no, like, this guy's out there to just run up the middle. Like, that's what you're doing here. So with Niblett, it's clearly going to be two running back sets. A lot of times he might start out wide and then come back in motion. A lot of orbits, a lot of fakes. Like, I think this year especially, they're going to do a lot of, hey, let's have the option to throw it to him in the boundary as a screener. But more than anything, we're setting this up so Brown or Smothers can just take a handoff inside. And I think that's what Sarkisian needs to get back to a little more. Is it can be simple with Niblett in the game. Teams have to respect him, right? Like, I know some people don't think he's the best offensive player. Generally, when he gets the ball, his per touch numbers are pretty good. And you have to understand that if he gets the ball in space with blockers, he's one of the two best for Texas. If it's not Wingo, it's him. So it needs to be simple with him, because teams understand that these big throwback screens and these reverses, they're coming eventually. But to set that up, you have to play, an inside zone run out of it, a bubble screen on the other side, an orbit maybe that goes to him if the defensive end is biting a little too hard on Brown. So I think that's what Sarkisian needs to do. He's going to be on the field this year. I know that's not everyone's favorite, but I think they'll be able to find a better balance this season with Niblett out there.
Yeah, I mean, I like it. I like him as a decoy a lot. I don't like him as when he goes, it's going to him because I've seen 11 guys run right at him.
That's the problem.
He's got to be used as a decoy if they're going to use him. But for me, if I see Smothers and Brown in the same backfield at the same time, I'd love to see a bunch of that stuff right there.
Yeah, I get that too. And I think that's 21 might be a little bit more of the identity of this year's team just because you have two better backs than you did last season. There wasn't much reason to have Baxter, Wisner out there together. And I could see that, Bucky, where it's just instead of it being Niblett, they get Brown more on those. But I will say I don't think Smothers profiles as well to that kind of at least the movement around. I think Smothers is someone that you just want to kind of keep in the backfield, give him the ball in between tackles or have him run laterally outside zone. So if the plan is to have guys moving around, then that's when you can get Niblett in. But there are definitely packages I could see where let's just get two good running backs on the field, a tight end with them, and two good wide receivers. And it's pretty hard to cover that, at least cover all that ground that can be generated.
Yeah, for sure. Evan Veith of Inside Texas joining us here on Bucky and BK. Arch Manning question, maybe an obligatory Arch Manning question, Evan, but I know the clips that have been surfacing on social media, the deep shot to Wingo a couple of days ago, the deep shot to Coleman. That's all great. We know Arch Manning can throw a good deep ball. The short and intermediate stuff. I know you've written about this. I know you've talked about it. Everyone's kind of talked about it. Like the easy stuff needs to feel easier for Arch Manning this season. I know it's shells and shorts. I know it's against air, but anything that you've seen that should give Longhorn fans more confidence that maybe Arch Manning has improved at some of these short and intermediate stuff going into 2026.
It hasn't been bad. I don't think it's been so clean that people are going to really get on a hype train about it. Some people might have been hoping the first 2 days that it's Arch Manning is the most accurate guy on the team. He didn't miss a throw. And frankly, I can't say that. There were some throws missed, and I think it's mostly on the crossing routes that are still getting him. And that if that sends an alarm bell out for you, it might, but I don't think so when we're talking about day 1 and 2 of camp, when clearly the position that's going to have the most rust is a quarterback spot because it's one that you need to have repetition on when you're practicing. So yeah, QB wide receiver connection is gonna make its way up as fall camp goes on. But yeah, I wouldn't lie to you and say that he's been super, super accurate to the point where we're starting to roll that he's a can't miss guy this season. There's no flaws in his game. I think KJ Lacey has been the most accurate quarterback, but that also comes with the caveat that Lacey has to be the most accurate quarterback, right? On air, if he is not making these throws accurately, then especially when we're in pads with bigger players coming at him in the pocket, he's not going to be able to perform very well, right? That has to be what he does well, and that's what Bryce Young did well. He was always hitting every pass, and so yeah, we need Arch to hit the layups a little bit better, right? The plays that should be hit by every quarterback, he was not hitting last year. I think it'll get better. I can't say right now that it was clearly a step ahead of the spring or last season, and really last season we didn't expect it, right? We knew that accuracy wasn't going to be his very best trait, but we thought that maybe it was more going to be that he was going to throw the ball into dangerous situations, kind of accuracy problems. But he kept the ball out of harm's way. It's just that when Ryan Wingo was running across the field, it sometimes just couldn't connect. And so I did see quite a few Wingo crossers that were completed, and that's something that people are going to be happy to hear. Ryan Wingo looks transformed from the spring. I'm clearly just that 6'2" he carries so well, and he feels like a big wide receiver, but doesn't seem like he's slowed down at all because he needs to still have that speed. So I'm looking out for how he and Cam Coleman work across the field a lot in these reps, and that's going well for Arch with those two. There's been some disconnect with some of the other guys, a drop here or there with some of the other receivers, but as you mentioned at the start, the deep ball is hitting, which is very important, and also the social media clips like that one. So I did notice that throwing deep was very good for Arch in these first 2 days. I think that it's going to ramp up a little better with the underneath stuff.
Having any really one-on-ones, maybe even though they don't have it on pads, the defensive backs and wide receivers, any defensive back standing out that wants to jump up there when Cam Coleman is at the front of the line?
We don't we don't really get enough viewing in our window to see like true one-on-one reps. It's a lot of on air. They do this one drill where it's basically, the wide receiver catches a ball and is expected to run around with the cornerback on him, but it's not really coverage. It's just kind of guys going at it. But I mean, I will say when I was watching the cornerbacks and they were doing their drills, whether it be like you kind of line up and then you're told the route that's coming as you're starting to pedal back, so you have to react well. I mean, Cade Phillips really looks the part there. I mean, that's where he can really go up and pinpoint a ball and go grab it at the highest point. He had one really impressive, interception, I say in quotation marks because it's just a coach throwing it up to him, but back of the end zone, toe tapping it, got it at the very highest point he could. Really good athlete, Cade Phillips is. And I think I saw Josh Pate tweeting out, like, who's a breakout candidate for your favorite team or whatever. And I could have said Justice Terry, but I feel like at this point we're doubling down too much. But I think Cade Phillips is one. Like, it seems like we kind of penciled him in to be a good starter, but we forget that he only really started the last 3 or 4 games of the year. So I'm really looking out for him. Bo Masco is very much teach tape kind of guy. That's how it was with Michael Masunis actually at tight end blocking. It's the kind of person that the coaches are telling the younger guys to look at and say, this is how you do it correctly. I think that Masco Phillips duo is going to be really, really good this year. And I'll give my flowers to Kobe Black in the secondary. That first day when I was really locked in on the safeties, he was the most impressive one out there. And then we hear day 2 that he's taking the reps alongside Jelani McDonald, the first deep safety reps of the practice. So I think Kobe Black's transition to safety is going really, really well so far. And I think he's going to separate as clearly that number 3 guy in the room. And then we'll see what Jonah Williams, JJR, and Xavier Filson, who's working a little more at the nickel spot, are going to do this year.
Wow, huge developments right there. Evan Veith of Inside Texas joining us. Buck, I want to get your thoughts on this bit. And Evan, I need you to confirm that this is true. They're doing ball drills with the DBs, and if they're dropping passes, they're doing push-ups. Is that a real thing, Evan?
I've seen a little bit of push-up stuff. I didn't see that one in particular when I was looking at the DBs on Thursday. I was really locked in on the O-line and offense on Friday, or excuse me, today's Friday. Thursday, yesterday, Wednesday. Wednesday I was looking at the DBs, and I didn't see that one as much, but I did see John Meredith had kind of a drop pick, and I do think I remember them making him go down and doing like 5 push-ups. So I think that's right if I'm remembering correctly. But yeah, they've definitely made a conscious effort. Sarkis talked about this of finding a better way to punish. Seems like the wrong word. Disciplines may be better, but players taking a little more advocacy for mistakes that they're having and unforced errors, which we've heard about penalties that Sark talked about. Like the edge room gets punished if Colin Simmons jumps offside. I think it's a similar idea where you drop a pass. There's something that you have to feel it a little bit in some way.
Or you have to let everybody see that you're doing what you have to do. It's not so it's 5 push-ups doesn't do anything to those guys, but the fact that somebody is seeing you, somebody outside of your position is seeing that this is what's happening with your position, because once again, it's like making the running back carry a ball around campus. I don't give a crap that he's carrying the ball and people are trying to knock the ball. That doesn't do anything. My defensive back is dropping the ball to my wide receiver. Go find an open fire and stick your hands in it. That's doing something about it. There you go.
Ow.
Yeah, you make the defensive back stick him on his gloves and walk around like this the whole time.
No thanks. That's I don't like. BK knows I'm not bits guy when it comes to that. Not bits guy. If you fumble, you walk around campus with the ball. No, you just look like a jerk walking around campus. How about not fumbling it?
Yeah, who's the tool of football on him?
Yeah, Jaden Blue's just lucky I wasn't on campus the same time he was, because I'm stripping that football. Last thing for me, Evan Veith of Inside Texas joining us. Cole Hudson is back, right? Like, he got the clearance from the NCAA, back with the team. I guess talk about that. And, I know this is a guy who started 10 games last year. He started, I think, 23 games in his Texas career. Is there an expectation or anticipation that he could really compete for a starting job, or is he just some much needed depth on the offensive line?
It's probably going to be depth, if I'm being honest, just because he's been away from the team for so long. Sark joked when it first came up, in July, we haven't been able to talk. We haven't talked to him much since January, because once you're graduated, you're you're going to the NFL. That's what you're doing. So I will say that when I noticed on Wednesday, left guard Jaden Chapman was the starter. Yesterday, I think Dylan Sikorsky was the one who was taking most of at least the first reps in the room. doesn't mean you're the starter yet or that you're locked into it for the start of the season. But, I think they're rotating a lot of guys at left guard. Lawrence Seymour hasn't been able to earn that spot yet or anything. He's only been in his second practice as a Longhorn. So at the worst, you just had more depth on your O-line, and you're getting closer to that number of, coaches want 8 or 9 guys that they can actually feel like they can put into a game and things won't go wrong. I think Hudson would fit into that, and I don't think he's going to end up being the starting left guard this year. I'd still put my money on Seymour. If not Seymour, then like Sikorsky or Chapman are also veteran guys at this point. So Hudson being there will probably be good for the locker room vibes. He's been around. He knows the Sark program. He's been there for every year, all but 1 year of Sarkisian's tenure. So it really can't hurt at the end of the day. And they did it the legal way. It wasn't like some kind of weird workaround thing. He just was part of the 22 class that got the temporary injunction, and now he's coming around. We were looking out for him in practice. He wasn't there yesterday, so I assume maybe at Monday he comes back in and is practicing full-time with the team. But, yeah, it's a nice development. Like, I know Cole Hudson didn't have the best year last year, but at the end of the day, it's a guy who's taking a lot of snaps for Texas. Interior O-line, you can always use more depth there. So worst case, if he's the backup center, fine by me.
For sure. Evan Veith, Inside Texas. Great stuff as always, Evan. Y'all go follow him on Twitter at Evan Veith and subscribe to the Inside Texas Football YouTube channel and InsideTexas.com. Really appreciate it, man. We'll chop it up next week.
Sounds good. Thanks.
All right, there he goes. Evan Veith of Inside Texas, InsideTexas.com, dropping some truth bombs on the people from the first couple of days of Texas fall camp, Buck.
Yeah, as I said, BK, punishment for football players when it comes to goofy little push-ups, 5 push-ups. That ain't punishment. What it is the others see you do it. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
That's more mental punishment than a physical thing. Now if they tell you during the middle of practice, go run those stadium steps, that's punishment. 5 push-ups, that stuff, that's just guys doing that and it's good. It's good. It's good camaraderie, really, for everybody else on the team to see you doing that stuff. That means that they notice that they're noticing you dropping a ball, and that you're noticing. And this is what I got to do. If it takes 25 seconds to run and do 5 push-ups because I dropped it, that's fine. But that's not something that ain't helping you. That's mentally letting people know that I've screwed this up, and that's all right too. That's a part of it too.
You're saying these guys aren't getting stronger from doing 5 push-ups at a time?
No. But it's a focus. It's a mental approach and a focus thing, and it's part of the camaraderie that you get, not only with the guys at your position, but other positions see you doing that too.
Let me ask you this: could you do 5 push-ups right now?
Could I do 5 push-ups?
Yeah.
Like a regular push-ups without on my knees, like a little girl?
Yeah.
No, with my shoulder and my back, no.
Could you do 1?
I could do 2, but I can't get past that. That hurts. That hurts too much. I don't need that pain.
2's the max, huh?
2 is the max, brother. And I'm not bits guy. I'm not doing that for a bit. And I'm not having my players waste their time doing bit things. Okay? After about the first 5 push-ups, I start screaming and start yelling at you to catch the ball. And I don't give a rat's ass about your 5 push-ups. I start getting deeper in the punishment,
What would you do next? If you're not a bits guy, all of a sudden you're talking about bits. What's your next bit?
No, I'd start making you run.
Oh, that's a bit.
Yeah, running. Guys hate to run, and I'm talking about running. I'm not talking about jogging.
Yeah, I'm good on. Give me the 5
When they jog, they get nice, good, deep breath. Oh man, I don't have to be over there. When they're running, they hate that. It's too hot to be running.
It's too hot to be running. Too hot to be running. All right, good stuff from Evan Veith of Inside Texas. We'll get to the BBK news momentarily because Nick Harris, who covers the Dallas Cowboys for the Fort Worth Star-Telegram, is going to join us in about 10 or 11 minutes. And we'll talk all things Cowboys and get some updates from Oxnard. But before we get to anything else, how about another round of sponsor shout-outs?
Our friends at Wood Comfort System, they've been doing air conditioning and heating for a long time, 71 years in Central Texas. Now they're doing plumbing. If you've got reoccurring clogs in your drain, please, that's a sign of a bigger problem. Let Woods Comfort Systems help you get right to the source, and they're proudly serving San Marcos, of course, Wimberley, and the surrounding areas. Folks, right now for $70, they'll come and they'll clear your drain, of course. and they'll have the free camera inspection. Give them a call today at Woods Comfort Systems at 737-251-6199. That's 737-251-6199. Woods Comfort Systems, nobody does it better.
No, they don't. Love our friends at Woods Comfort Systems. Also love our friends at McCall Custom Homes. Shout out to our guy, Mike McCall. Good dude, big Longhorn fan, big listener of this show. And, well, that's all great, but what can Mike McCall do for me, BK? Why do you keep talking about this guy? Well, if you want a dream home, this is the guy to call. If you like your current place, but you want to turn it into a dream home, this is the guy to call. Custom home builds, big-time home renovations. McCall Custom Homes ATX, they do it all. A-plus rated by the BBB. Tons of experience, more than 4 decades. It's a father-son team that have been doing this here in Central Texas for a long time. Top quality, affordable prices, fully licensed, fully insured, all of the things that you look for. These guys aren't fly-by-night. These guys are the best at what they do. Again, custom home builds from scratch, or if you like your current place but you want to love your current place, how about a free estimate from McCall Custom Homes? Reach out to Mike, 512-633-9580. That's his direct line. Call him, text him anytime, or check out their website for more info, McCallCustomHomesATX.com. It's McCall Custom Homes. We build value into your home.
Our good friends over at Hat Creek Burger Company, proud to be a place where anyone can come in hungry and you will leave full, believe me. Double with cheese, get those queso fries. They've got all kinds of great things going on at Hat Creek Burger Company. Good food, good folks, and just a good place to have a whole lot of fun. Great playgrounds for the kids and happy hour for the adults at Hat Creek Burger. Over 30 locations in the state of Texas. At Hat Creek Burger Company, there's something for everyone.
Yeah,
hey, we're getting ready to get back to school soon. Gather up those kids, BK. Gather them up, take them on over to Hat Creek.
I can't grab a bunch of kids and take them in my car somewhere.
You got the Mazda now. You can get a couple extra kids in there. Go pay for a meal for the kids.
I can't just round up a bunch of children, throw them in the back of my car, take them somewhere.
They're not like goats.
Goats don't sue. The parents are going to sue me. I can't get arrested. Well, maybe I could get arrested for stealing a goat, but I know I could get arrested for stealing a kid. It's kidnapping.
Dude, it's the cool thing. You've got the Mazda. Go back to the old apartment. The kids that you didn't pay attention to, now that you're moving, just pick up a couple of those kids, let the parents know, I'm taking them to Hat Creek Burger. I'm taking them to Belterra. I'll bring them back.
Yeah, okay. That's you're just giving advice to kidnappers now.
What?
Yeah. You mean what? Yeah. Uh-oh, we got an echo back. Apparently, the echo has returned.
I think if I talk loudly, I think the echo returns. That's what the deal is.
You have any more live reads to do? Have you done all of yours?
No, I got them all, buddy.
Will you talk about early bird while I leave and come back to try to fix this?
Yeah, love early bird CBD, folks. I took my early bird on Wednesday playing golf, guys, and I'm going to tell you, it is now Friday, and my legs feel fantastic. I walked close to 4 miles. I had a golf cart, but we played at Valor Creek in Blanco. Lots of walking there. I walked around, and I still feel good 2 days later. Don't have any knee pain, nothing, no pain in my back. Thank goodness to Early Bird CBD. That stuff really works for me. The drops work best for me now because I can drink it with a hydration drink. You can drink it with whatever you want to drink it with. It works. Believe me. A lot of folks looking for a good CBD. Some say, well, it does this for me, it does that. But for my pain, it is working for me, and it has been working since I started taking it.
Yes, indeed. Love Early Bird CBD. Pain relief, relaxation, take the edge off, whatever your reason. There's a reason. Try it out for yourself, earlybirdcbd.com. Their products do contain a microdose of THC. So if you get drug tested at work, this stuff is not for you. We don't want y'all getting in trouble. But if your boss doesn't suck, you got to try these things. You're going to enjoy these things, the drops, the gummies, the tinctures, whatever you go with, you're going to enjoy it. Give it a go. earlybirdcbd.com. Promo code Bucky. You're going to get 20% off your first order from Early Bird CBD.
You're going to notice how it helps you if you're doing all your moving and stuff, BK, if you don't forget stuff.
You're right. No, I need to pop one today and probably tomorrow.
Man,
after that, I need to get through the move, and then once it's done, that's where I'll just
Yeah.
take a gummy and relax, and we'll be chilling. It'll be great.
Yeah, well, you got all those girls from up above you to help you out, those apartment girls. Have you said goodbye? Have you said goodbye to them? Do they have they've got to understand that you're leaving now, right?
I've got a broomstick that I've just been like banging up against the ceiling above me just to
Oh, God.
cause them some grief one final time. You think they'll offer to help me move?
I think if you said, "Hey, listen, I need a little help," I think that you need to at least try to get them to help you.
Here's what I'll do because they caught me, right? No. They knocked on my door asking for help. It wasn't just I was walking around. They knocked on my door asking for help. So you're right. I need to knock on the door. Be like, I've been thinking about this for the last 3 years. I don't hold grudges,
Yes.
but I've been thinking about this for the last 3 years, how y'all knocked on my door asking for help with moving, and you didn't pay me anything. You barely even gave me a thank you.
And you didn't even pay
And
that poor kid that helped him too.
yeah, there's some high school kid, probably 8th grade kid who was also helping. They didn't pay him jack squat. So, I've been thinking about that for a while, and I didn't want to be a rude neighbor. I don't want to be mean or ruin y'all's lives while I lived here. But I'm moving out, and I would like some help. Now get in the back of the car and help.
Now get in the trunk of the car.
Get in the trunk. I don't want them. So yeah, we'll try that. We'll see if the pack mules upstairs get the job done. I think they're still living there, so we'll get it done.
You know what? After they work, they'd probably be really helpful. That just those little things that you have that are a pain in the ass when you're moving, and you've got a bunch of them. Just give them a basket full of stuff and say, "Hey, listen, I just need you to do this twice to my car, and everything. That'll be great."
Well, that would be about 1/100th of what I did for them. So if we're going eye for an eye here, then they'll be out there for like an hour and a half.
Oh my
schlepping
God.
stuff. And they're on the 3rd floor. I'm only on the 2nd floor.
Wow.
They're on the 3rd. Shoot. All right, you know what? That's a good idea. I'm putting them to work.
There you
today.
go.
I like that. All right, a quick shout out to our friends at Kalshi as well. Hey, before the season even kicks off, everyone's making predictions. Who wins the division? Who makes the playoffs? Who is lifting the trophy at season's end? We're about to talk some Dallas Cowboys football. Look, on Kalshi, America's #1 prediction market platform, you could trade your Cowboys predictions or any of your football predictions on a live market. Well, the Dallas Cowboys make the playoffs. I don't know what happened, but the Cowboys are only trading at a 51% probability today, meaning your payout is pretty good if you trade on the Cowboys, and, well, the Cowboys end up making it to the postseason. Whether it's the Cowboys, the Texans, or any other NFL team, it's games, it's season-long stuff, it's win totals, it's futures, it's all there on Kalshi. On Kalshi, you're trading against peers in a live market, meaning there's no house. And as the probability changes, you can buy in and out of your position, trade the draft pick, the game, and more on Kalshi. Download the Kalshi app and use code BUCKY to get $10 when you trade $10. Kalshi, Kalshi. Trade on anything. 18 plus only. Restrictions and eligibility requirements apply.
Sweet.
All right, a couple minutes here before Nick Harris joins us. So many BBK news stories here, but let's just play this one real quick because this has gone viral over the last 24 hours or so. So Purdue, Buck, they've got a new athletics director, and they had a press conference on campus yesterday to introduce said athletics director.
Yes.
His name is Tommy McClelland. They actually hired him from Rice. He's been the AD for the Owls for the last 3 or 4 years. Just got hired for the Boilermakers. Still mad at Purdue for that Sweet 16 game. Trey Flopman-Wren and the refs for totally gifting Purdue a victory and costing Texas a spot in the Elite Eight. I won't get over that anytime soon. So they've got a new AD. They had this press conference, and there was one comment that this dude, Tommy McClelland, said that has gone viral. Again, it's Purdue here. Remember who we're talking about.
Yeah.
Here is what their new AD, Tommy McClelland, had to say.
Every recruit, every current student athlete will hear this message repeatedly. We are here to win championships. If you don't want to win championships, go to Indiana.
Duh.
Any thoughts
Wow.
on that? You know, Purdue and Indiana, like that's their biggest rival. So
Oh, yeah.
you hear that often where an AD or a coach will take a shot at big rival during introductory press conference or any press conference. But does this guy not know that Indiana just won the national championship in the most important sport?
I think I would leave that one alone.
Yeah.
Indiana football, Purdue football. That's one I'd leave be.
If you want to win national championships, you come here. If you don't, you go to Indiana.
Yeah.
Is this mate forever until the last 2 years? You could have said that and no one would have batted an eye.
Yeah.
But
Google me now.
now, last 2 times Indiana have played Purdue, you had a 66-0 victory for the Hoosiers and a
Wow.
56-3 victory for the Hoosiers. So
That one's going to hurt right there this year.
yeah, good luck. They do play each other again late in the season.
Oh, that's going to hurt.
Thoughts and prayers to Barry Odom, the head coach of the Boilers.
No kidding.
And Jared Gibson, who's up there now, by the way. Good luck.
Oh, that's right. Baby rhinoceros or baby hippo is there, right?
You've been calling him Baby Hippo, yeah? That's where he is.
Wow.
All right. So there's that. That was pretty funny. But let's talk some Dallas Cowboys football. We go out to Oxnard, California to get the latest and greatest on all things Dallas Cowboys. Joining us now, our old friend Nick Harris from the Fort Worth Star-Telegram. Nick, it's great to see you, man. How are things out in Cali?
Doing fantastic, fellas. I think it's about 68 this morning, a little bit warmer than usual. So sorry if I look a little sweaty, guys.
It's about 68. Wow.
Yeah, warmer than usual. That's going to be tough going back to the Metroplex, I'm sure.
100%. I'm not ready.
Paradise right there. Well, obviously we haven't had a preseason game yet, but they've been out in California, and you've been out in California for some time now, Nick. I'll just kind of give you the floor first before deep diving with some questions. Your biggest observations, your biggest takeaways, what's kind of caught your eye to this point in Cowboys camp?
Yeah, early on, it was the offense picking up right where it left off in 2025. One of the more productive offenses from a season ago. And in those first few practices, they were humming once again. So the defense, whenever the pads came on, that was the big thing for them to be able to throw that physicality back around. And they were able to do so. And it's been cool seeing this new defensive scheme under new defensive coordinator Christian Parker really find its identity here in the first few practices. I think that's still a work in progress, and we won't really know exactly what that looks like until probably 5-6 games into the season. But as of right now, you don't see any busted coverages. I think that's step one compared to last year. And you're seeing some defensive leaders step up, whether it be Rashawn Gary, Kenny Clark, Quentin Williams, Jalen Thompson. And I think that's pretty healthy to see at this point in time.
Speaking of health, Nick, is there a lot of healthy bodies out there practicing right now? Not a lot of guys hanging around the sidelines, but guys actually on the field playing?
Yeah, pretty much every position group, they are healthy except for the safety spot. Jalen Thompson has been battling a hip flexor issue, so he's only practiced twice. Elijah Clark is battling an ankle issue. PJ Locke was dealing with a hyperextended knee. He just came back yesterday to practice, so it's been good to see him back in the mix, the former Longhorn. And then Zion Childress, he's been out with an issue. He's going to be out for another couple of weeks. So the safety spot has been interesting, but I think that's kind of a good thing in a way because you're seeing Caleb Downs get some reps at safety with the twos. He's been the nickel with the first team, but you see him step back and cover space with the second team. So he's getting training in both areas. So I think there is still a positive in that.
When you watch him, can that dude do everything? I mean, if he had to play cornerback, does he look like he can get out there and be a corner?
Yeah, absolutely. If they had to put him on the outside, I think he could do it. It's funny. I had that conversation with someone a few days ago. I was like, I wonder if there's a scenario where, maybe he does have to play on the outside. But they have so many bodies in that room now, it's probably not realistic. But, I mean, they're throwing him out there and training him in the return game. They're training him at nickel. They're training him at safety. You see him play in the box as almost like a third linebacker in that 3-4 system or third off-ball linebacker in that 3-4 system with how they align him at times. It's pretty impressive. He's been an impressive guy so far.
Yeah, Nick Harris of the Fort Worth Star-Telegram and the Draft Show and Haymaker Network. I got to make sure you're adding jobs left and right. It's insane. Got to make sure we hit them all. Joining us here on Bucky and BK. Yeah, on the Caleb Downs front, Shoddy has already told everybody that the starters aren't going to play in the preseason. But I think last I heard, he hadn't really made a decision on Caleb Downs. Is there a decision made on if that guy is going to play at all in these 3 Cowboys preseason games?
Yeah, no decision quite yet. I think we will see Caleb at some point in time. It might not be in that first game, but I think he does get at least 10 to 15 snaps at some point. I think they're going to kind of use a similar method as they did with Tyler Booker last year. Booker did not get the initial preseason game nod, and he was factored back into the mix in the second game, and then he got the ball cap again in the third game. And so I could see something similar happening with Downs. But Caleb, I think Tuesday's practice against the Los Angeles Rams, the joint practice that they have at the Rams facility, I think that's going to determine a lot for these starters.
You know, we talk about this defense and talk about the defensive line, and they've got some veteran guys on the defensive line. What about the offensive line? How are they looking right now?
Yeah, I will say the interior trio of Tyler Smith, Cooper Beebe, and Tyler Booker, man, I think as those guys grow and get older in this league and grow more mature, it's only going to get more dominant. And you're starting to see what that maturity actually looks like, especially with the second year for Tyler Booker. And those guys going up against Quinnen Williams and Kenny Clark, that has been a lot of fun to watch in the interior. It's the tackle spot that is obviously going to drive the concern, specifically at left tackle with Tyler Guyton. Came into camp and Brian Schottenheimer was like, hey, that's going to be a competition for the starting job with Nate Thomas. Now we are 6 practices into it. Oh my gosh, already 6 practices into it. And Brian Schottenheimer came out and said that Tyler Guyton's going to hold on to that job for now. But that, it's not necessarily determined. And so I think, if Guyton can take that step forward and be a capable starter in the NFL, not have the penalties, not have, the consistent beats on the outside, then this could have a case to be one of the better offensive lines in the league. I really do believe that. Even with Terrence Steele at right tackle being what he is as a quote unquote hole in the pass protection game, but he's so dominant in the run game that, you've seen big holes paid for Javonte Williams, Jaden Blue, Phil Maffa so far here in camp. And most of them have been on that right side with Tyler Booker and Terrence Steele working together. So the offensive line, I think the sky is the limit for this group. But I think also, there's a scenario where these tackles, they don't step up here in 2026 and they have to figure out some things at that tackle spot.
Yeah, Nick Harris joining us here on Bucky and BK. I'm sure you're tired of talking about this, but Jerry Jones making headlines again. I guess this was last week. It's been a while at this point, but Max Crosby is still out there. Jerry on the very first day, the State of the Cowboys press conference, he's talking about having conversations with owners and GMs about making moves. Obviously, nothing has happened to this point. You think there's, whether it's Max Crosby, I know Bobby Wagner's a free agent, that wouldn't be a trade, but is there any chance the Cowboys actually have an ace up their sleeve, or is that just Jerry being Jerry?
I think that the front office is doing a little bit more due diligence than usual in understanding what the trade market looks like right now, specifically for veteran players. I think that if they do make an addition on the defensive side of the ball, it's going to be a guy with experience and proven skins on the wall. But I think as camp has gone on, you look at the edge rusher position, right? And if you were a fan that had a concern about that, I think this group has started off pretty strong here at camp with Rashawn Gary, Donovan Ezraku, the first-round pick, Malachi Lawrence. Even Sam Williams has looked pretty decent here in camp, which I don't think that was something that we necessarily expected coming in. At the off-ball linebacker spot, I think for me, still depth is the biggest concern. But the third-round pick, Jayshawn Barham out of Michigan, has really stepped up in that room, and was even given some green dot responsibilities a couple of days ago when DeMarvion Overshown was out with a sore leg. So I think, if you were to make an addition, you could still make a case to me at any defensive position. Hey, I think they need to add depth there, and I would get it. Maybe not defensive tackle, but everywhere else, I'd be like, okay, I get it. But I don't think it is as necessary as maybe some do believe. But hey, man, if you have an opportunity to add a game changer and you can elevate the floor and or ceiling of the defense at the same time, you do that 10 times out of 10. And so we'll see. I would also say don't discount the possibility of a trade on the offensive side of the ball. I think they are also doing their due diligence at a couple of positions there as well, specifically running back.
Now, I was just going to ask you, you mentioned Jaden Blue. I mean, maybe a more mature guy in year 2, more mature acting guy, being a professional running back a little bit more, understanding there's not many more roads after this. After this one, you end up playing in summer league somewhere. So is this his opportunity right now, you think, Nick?
Yeah, absolutely. This is going to be the biggest opportunity he gets, and if he succeeds, then man, I think he can carve out a role in this offense where he's getting 100 to 150 touches. I think there's a scenario for that, but. And also, I think if you ask the coaching staff and you put the truth serum on them, they would probably tell you that they need Jaden Blue to be the one to step up in that room versus the other guys, just because he has the explosive speed, the receiving game knacks. He's even shown some pass pro stuff here at camp. And so they just need him to be consistent every day. And there was a play across the middle last week where tipped off his hands on an angle route and it was picked off. And it was just like, you don't want to see that. But he bounces back with a couple of big plays that was pure vision from him. And so, I think preseason is going to be a large determining factor about on-field trust. He's slowly building the off-the-field trust. Last year was a rocky year for him in that department, but he continues to get praise from Brian Schottenheimer and the rest of the coaching staff for how he's approached this challenge here in year two. They really did challenge him coming out of the year last year, and they were honest with him, being like, hey, we didn't like the consistency you brought us as a professional off the field. And so it looks like he's improved in that department, but I don't think we'll truly know what that looks like until the 53-man roster comes out, the depth chart is shook out, and we see where he is.
Like that speed. That speed is for real, isn't it?
Yeah, 100%. And I think when you see that speed in the open field, it's pretty special. And they've trained him in the return game as well. I think he's probably, if he makes this roster, he would be the unofficial backup returner behind Kavontae Turpin. But there's a long way to go for a lot of these things. These 3 preseason games will be huge for that.
For sure. Nick Harris of the Fort Worth Star-Telegram joining us here to talk Cowboys. Couple more for you, Nick. You brought up DeMarvion Overshone. And you said he missed a day with a sore knee, and like just so much PTSD and UTSD kicks in there. What are the expectations for him? It feels like he's a good player. He's just never available. Like, what do the Cowboys think of him? And do you think if he can't stay on the field, play a big role in the middle of this defense?
Yeah, I think that one day that he missed was more of a product of like, okay, hey, we know your experience, we know your history with your injuries, and we're just going to give you an off day because we're not doing a whole lot today. I think that was more so the premise behind that. He was back on the practice field yesterday and participated in all the team reps, so I don't think it's anything too concerning. But, yeah, I mean, that's going to be the big thing at that linebacker spot, and that's why I'm still a little concerned about the depth at that spot. You know, DeMarvion Overshone does still have those 2 injuries in his history. D. Winters has been a reliable guy, but if Overshone goes down, man, that room gets super thin really quick. And so I do think, similar to how we were talking about the offensive line, the sky is the limit for Overshone, but he's got to be able to be available.
Good stuff. All right, Nick, before we let you go, what's like in your spare time? I know you're working pretty much every day out there, but like what is there to do in Oxnard, California besides like watch the Cowboys practice?
Yeah, it's so boring, right? I hit the beach every day. It's unreal. No, it's actually been pretty great, and I'm getting around in today up in Ojai. It's like further into the mountains a little bit, so it's an off day, so I'm going to hit the links a little bit.
Oh,
sweet.
That's awesome.
It's a tough life.
Yeah, if you guys ever need like an assistant or something while you're out there, don't hesitate to reach out. Nick, you're the man. Great catching up. Glad you're doing well. Appreciate the time, man, and hopefully we get the chance to do this again soon.
I really appreciate it, fellas. Thank you, guys.
There he goes. Nick Harris, Fort Worth Star-Telegram. Follow him on Twitter, by the way. And, of course, check out the work he does in the Star-Telegram and the Draft Show and Haymaker Network. And, yeah, he does a great job covering the Cowboys.
Yeah, man, they want Jaden Blue. They want that guy to succeed. They need that speed. They need that speed at that running back position. They've got a tough guy running, but they need a guy who can catch a screen and take it to the house. He could be that dude.
The talent is there.
Yes.
Uh-oh. And so is the echo.
Oh.
All right. A quick leave and come back.
Bring it. I'll talk about Jaden Blue.
There you go.
Yeah, folks, that is something that the Cowboys, with their running back right now with Williams, they got a guy who can pound it inside. He's not a bad guy catching the ball and making things happen, but Jaden Blue can separate himself from what they have. I mean, his speed that's elite speed. That's one guy miss, and then everybody else can't catch it from behind, or everybody you think has an angle on you, really they don't have an angle on you. That's what kind of speed the Cowboys can use in this offense. They've got wide receivers that can do that, but out of the backfield, they really don't. He's that guy. They want him to be that guy badly.
Yeah, they could really use a backup for Javonte Williams. And
He must have been just a goof. He sounds like he was a goof as a rookie. I mean, they're saying words like off the field.
well, yeah, I mean, he got hurt last year wearing Louis Vuitton cleats.
Good Lord.
Like stuff like that. I mean, that's just one example. And that was like a national story, but like that, dude, you're a fifth round pick. Like this is not a first round pick. It's like, oh, we'll give you a million chances to stay on this team. Like we're gonna find a way. This is a guy like, okay, if he doesn't prove it this year, they'll cut him after this season.
Yeah, you're right. I mean, you could be on the Dallas Cowboys as a fifth round pick at the running back position, and they've got pretty good history with running backs, and you're running around with gold shoes on.
Yeah, it's they were blue and white. They were Cowboys colors at least.
Oh,
Buck.
okay. I'm sorry. There you
They
go.
just, I don't know anybody who's worn Louis Vuitton cleat. Like I feel like Nike or Under Armour or Adidas, like those are the brands that people
You mean the brands that support your ankles and
Yeah,
stuff?
like I feel like they're kind of known for making good football cleats, and I've never heard of a designer brand like that making cleats, so I don't know if I trust. I mean, I don't care if you're Patrick Mahomes, like you don't wear that. Definitely, you don't do it as a fifth round rookie trying to earn your
Yeah.
keep and earn your stripes in the league. Like,
Yeah, that's just goofy. They already think you're goofy.
yeah, so I have hopes for Jaden Blue, but he's got to do a lot of maturing. It sounds like he has, and Brian Schottenheimer has spoken highly of Jaden Blue, his improvement both as a player and as just a person, as a professional. But I got to see it. I got to see it to believe it. And yeah, these 3 preseason games are pretty big for
sure.
him, I think. I think he's going to make the team, like either way, but I don't know. Maybe he could screw around and find out.
Well, yeah, but they need him to play. It's not just making the team for him. There's some ways that they can really use him offensively. And now they're talking about special teams, punt returning, backup punt returner, kickoff returner. Hell yeah.
It'd be nice. Well, again, we know the type of weapon he is with the ball in his hands, and
Sure.
he's dynamic. He is a difference maker. But look, being that on Saturdays is different than being that on Sundays. Number one,
Certainly
and,
is.
you got to earn your spot. So hopefully it all comes together for Jaden Blue in year 2. All right, and get to a very abbreviated why today's not so bad in a moment. Real quick, sponsor shout out Sleep Cycle Center. Our guy Dr. Chad and his great team at Sleep Cycle Center are all about solving people's sleeping problems. And if you are people, if you've got sleeping problems, if you snore, if you have trouble falling or staying asleep, if you're just drowsy during the day, if you just feel tired, you know what that is. If that's happening like every day or multiple times a week, then that's a problem. And you could have sleep apnea. You're not alone. More than 22 million Americans have undiagnosed sleep apnea, in addition to the millions who do have diagnosed sleep apnea. Get these problems taken care of. It's not just CPAP. They've got all sorts of technologies and ways to help your sleeping issues get fixed for good. Dr. Chad's a great guy. His facilities are super nice, super clean. Again, it's state-of-the-art technology. People you can trust. They do the very best work when it comes to these things. SleepCycleCenters.com. Free consultations for Bucky and BK listeners. And you mentioned this show, you'll get $100 off an at-home sleep study. SleepCycleCenters.com for more info.
Love it.
Okay. Buck, I feel like I got a trip to make to your place this weekend to get these technical issues figured out. I'm giving you the heads up
Okay.
right here and right now.
We can get it done after you get done with your moving. We can get it done Saturday or Sunday.
We'll make it happen. All right, let's a bit of sound here from Alex Golish. That is the head coach of the Auburn Tigers. And Auburn, like Texas, started fall camp this week. And look, Texas, we know where their fall camp is. We know what's going on. Guys are staying in their dorms, their apartments, whatever, and they're going to practice every day when they're supposed to. The Auburn Tigers have moved to a Marriott Hotel and Resort.
That's a golf course place.
Yep, that is like right by their campus, right by their practice facilities. But instead of allowing guys to, stay home and be home and live where they live, the whole team has gotten up and moved into this hotel and resort. Here's Alex Golish talking about why he decided to do that.
We are going to move in this afternoon to the Marriott out at the golf course. We got 13 days there as a team. Reasoning there is just to be able to take the guys, move them off campus, eliminate every single bit of distractions we possibly can, and we got 13 days. That's how it was presented to the team. They're excited about it. There's nothing, no girlfriends, no dogs, cats, whatever guys are into. It's truly just us for the next 13 days, which is absolutely huge for us. We need it. The time in college football is different where the guys really don't ever leave. So they're around all the time. But this is the one time where there's absolutely zero distractions. We're going to go 13 days up until school start.
What do you think?
You don't eat crap on campus at this time of the year, Coach. What the hell's wrong with campus? What do you mean girlfriends? Oh, you don't think the girlfriends can sneak into the hotel? What are you, out of your mind or something? Just at the golf course?
Yeah, these guys
You don't
get
think
to play
you don't
golf.
think there's honeys going around in shorts at the golf course, at the resort? Maybe the people that would want to go to the resort aren't going there because of your team's there. But it's not like there's not any distractions at that golf course. That's I don't know. That's maybe he and the staff want to do that more so than the players.
There's a few things to get into. First of all, I thought of this cut.
And if it happens to be their fat little girlfriends, too bad.
Yeah.
Definitely thought of Mike Leach when we heard Alex Golesh talking there. There's a lot to get to. Like, the last Auburn coach got fired for golfing too much.
Right.
I mean, he got fired for not winning enough games, but also, like, he was golfing more than he was coaching. And the fact that the new coach is like, I'm going to take our team to a golf club for 2 weeks, to a resort, has to be like, what are we doing here? Is this deja vu for Auburn fans? No girlfriends, no dogs. He said, there are no girlfriends, dogs, cats, whatever guys are into. Is he insinuating that the Auburn players are banging dogs and cats?
Sounds like it.
And perhaps something else? Like, what else could they be into? But like, girlfriends, okay. Dogs, cats?
I mean, their girlfriends can get over to the – let me tell you something. You can get over to the hotels like you can get over to the dorms or the apartments too, Coach. I don't know what rock you've been living under, but those guys, if they want their girls in their rooms, they're going to find they're going to have a nice time at that resort with their girls getting into the rooms too.
Be sneaking them in.
Oh my God.
Yeah, and it is, I said it's close to campus. It's about a 15-minute drive to campus from this hotel. So a little tougher for them to get there, but they have cars. They could Uber, whatever. They could go out there.
I used to leave summer camp and come back in the mornings. My first wife, my ex-wife, I would go to her apartment. I'd hide up in a tree. She'd flash the lights. BK, I'd jump down from the tree and then and go get in the car and come back the next morning to get back to the dorm. I mean, if they want to get to their girls, you got to be kidding me. I don't know. What is that guy being serious or what?
Isn't that the plot of Remember the Titans? Didn't they do this in Remember the Titans?
Oh, yeah. I used to be up hiding in a tree, and the light would flash. I'd jump down, get in the car, see myself in the morning at about 5:30, sneaking back into the dorm. I mean, you got to be kidding me.
I don't think they did that in Remember the Titans, but
dogs and cats. What the hell is he talking about?
You just got to leave your dog and cat to die. So hopefully you found somebody to watch them, but you can't watch them. We're done with that.
No distractions. And now you're paying millions of dollars to go stay 15 minutes away.
Yeah. It's it is expensive. They got to pay for all these rooms at this nice hotel and golf club and resort. So
and food, they got to feed those guys training camp food.
It's just one of these bits, man. All these new coaches, they got to try their new bits. Talked about it with John Summerall at Florida. Now it's Alex Golesh at Auburn. It's like, hey, if it works, well, everyone's going to be moving. Nah, that bit's too stupid. I was going to say everyone's going to be moving their team to golf clubs for camp. If it works, though, they'll be happy. If Auburn loses to Baylor, which I think is their first game, it's either first or second game. I can't remember.
I think it's the first one, maybe.
then it's well, nice going there, Coach. Nice bit right there. So yeah, no banging girlfriends or dogs or cats, Auburn. Sorry to you.
Yeah, you want to get away, you go to the log cabins where there's no air conditioning. You want to get their attention, go somewhere there's no air conditioning and keep them up there for 13 days. You get all the attention you want there, Coach.
You know, hang out with Aaron Rodgers at one of those shroom
Yeah,
retreats.
that's goofiness.
So there you go. There's your BBK news today for a Friday show. Quick happy birthday to Mike Trout, Sidney Crosby, DeMar DeRozan, Charlize Theron.
How old is Charlize? Can I go 43?
Oh, you're rounding down. Nicely done for a woman. 51.
Wow.
And Wayne Knight, a.k.a. Newman from Seinfeld.
Come on, Newman.
Born on this day now dead. Don Larson, the only perfect game thrower in
Yes.
World Series history. And B.J. Thomas. Raindrops keep falling on my head.
Yeah, raindrops keep falling on my head. Yeah.
And that's all we got for Why Today's Not So Bad. All right. Well, that will do it
All right,
for
brother, get yourself to moving.
Yeah, I'll see you this weekend.
All right.
Unfortunately for you, you got to hang out with me some this weekend.
That's all right. We'll get this echo. We'll get all this stuff all straightened out,
Yeah,
folks.
appreciate you people for bearing with us these last couple of days. We'll get it all
That's made
corrected.
you people. By the way, we did that. We want to get you away from things working properly and have you focus a little bit better.
Yeah, we're going to Lake Cliff all next week. We're just going to stay
Yes.
out there to do our show and really lock in and not play golf a bunch of times.
Yeah,
and
how
not
was
have
that?
our wife and girlfriend come out there. Yeah, of course. Smart move. All right, thanks to Nick Harris. Thanks to Evan Veith for joining us. Most importantly, thanks to you people for hanging out with us on a Friday. Y'all have a great weekend. The Buck and I will talk to y'all on Monday.
Hook 'em.
Hook up.